welcome to the Brewtiful Game. As always, I am Blake here with Ferris.
Hola.
And Ron.
What's happening?
And we are coming to you from the Brewtiful Nursery as my daughter has just fallen asleep in her crib next door. I'm not worried about being Ron. I'm worried about Ferris.
Come on. We already start this pod off this way? Just taking a dig?
I mean, I think it's true that you've been the most vociferous of all of us.
Yeah, you made the compressor work real hard in the last episode. It was
What's
good.
it there for?
That's true.
Right?
What are you paying for it if you're not using it? Yeah,
Just like all them beeps.
yeah, man. I've now got a subscription to the Beep, so they're unlimited.
I had to take out a loan just to pay for my own bleeps.
You would definitely have to do that. Well, we are here today to talk a little World Cup. We are recording this prior to the semifinals. So all the quarterfinals have all been wrapped up. So we're going to talk a little bit about some World Cup and just dabble a little bit of some local MLS news regarding Orlando City and their new coach. And yeah, there you go. First thing first, though, beer, which this week it's
beer.
Biggity beer.
Okay. I do have some beer.
But first, he had to beatbox.
Yeah, I don't know why I felt like I had to do a little.
Well, we've got
Two on the mic.
World Cup Russia 2018 FIFA cups ready to go.
Okay.
They're still awesome.
They
do
are
mine.
great.
I might do mine in the can. I don't know. We'll see.
It's a rebel.
Okay. Or is potentially second beer a can beer?
Potentially.
Okay. Well, I may do this in the class. I don't know. Let me introduce the damn beer first. Let's start off with that. Okay. So a few weeks back, I went back home to the old 727, the Clearwater area. And me and Ma Dukes hit up a couple of local breweries, primarily in...
We've all got to have drinks with Ma Dukes.
Oh, yeah. You guys have fun. You would have fun. We went to a couple breweries in Dunedin, which is, Dunedin, Clearwater, St. Pete, kind of all in that, in that area. But one of the breweries I went to is one brewery I had never even heard of. You can't really get it anywhere up here. I think, it's pretty local-ish to Dunedin and Tampa, primarily. And it is called Seventh Sun Brewery.
Oh, cool.
And I went on
Were they at the beer festival we were at? I don't think so.
I don't think so. Yeah, I had never heard of them. But they had a really cool, their flights came in this like garden flower up in the air, 5-flight tower spinny thing.
Is that the technical term?
You're telling me.
Oh, yeah. I've seen it. It made me think of I've seen them before, but they were for wine glasses.
It's almost for wine, yeah. I think
Yeah.
they just converted it into, I didn't really have to convert it, but you just had a different glass and used it for beer. So you got 5 instead of your typical 4 in a flight. And they had some awesome beers there. And then they also had a fridge full of canned stuff and some of their seasonal stuff. And one of their cans kind of caught my eye. But first, let me go into a little bit of their story on their website, which is 7 VENTH sun.com. So 7thsun.com and held its grand opening in January of 2012 in Dunedin, Florida, by owner and operators Devin Krebs and Justin Strange. The partners first met at a Sweetwater brewery in Atlanta, where one was working in the brewery, cellar and packaging operations. That would have been Justin, and then Devin was a production manager. So they kind of combined their efforts, moved down here to Tampa Bay to start Seventh Sun. First had started off over in Tampa, but I guess operations and costs and stuff were a little bit too much for the Tampa Bay area. So they intended to open up a smaller facility in the coastal town of Dunedin. So fairly new brewery, only about 6 years old now.
Yeah.
It has some really good beers, like I said. And this one, the beer we're about to have, caught my eye, primarily because of the can and the name. But I couldn't find it anywhere on their site. So it's a really seasonal.
The beer I bought last week was that way. It was a rare run, so it wasn't even up on their site.
Yeah, I searched. And what's weird is on their site they also have ones that are occasional, a one-time beer. It's not even up on there. But what I did find is they just did an event in early June that was called Freak Your Tiki. And the beer is called Freak Your Tiki. So I think it was made specifically for this event that they did.
That's awesome.
Gotcha. They're just selling off the rest.
I would assume so.
And it looks like it's the classic silver can with a wrap around it for the label. Yeah, so it is a little.
And it is a Berliner Weisse. Is that what it says on the side there?
Man, Berliner Weisse. That's awesome. Oh, we can pour one out for Germany.
Yes, we can. At the time, I bought it, and Germany was doing okay. I think they had just lost the Mexico match, but
Beer for the Sunshine State.
Yep.
Okay.
And on the back, our brewing philosophy is to stretch the limits of style descriptions and categories, bringing an innovative approach to traditional styles. Please enjoy our award-winning beers responsibly. Freak Your Tiki, Berliner Weisse. One day, Tiki saw a woman swimming in a lake and was overcome by her beauty. She seduced Tiki, and the rest was history. Cherry, mango, guava, passion fruit, and vanilla are the seductress of this beer, creating a Tiki-inspired twist on our classic Berliner Weisse. Get freaky.
That sounds interesting.
That's awesome.
So I have no clue what this beer is going to taste like, but I thought it was kind of cool.
Awesome.
And it was one of the ones that wasn't on tap there, so I had to bring it back.
Oh, man.
Look at that color.
Yeah.
That's, ooh.
The color is kind of surprising me. It's real.
Is that passion fruit?
Yeah. I mean, it's almost got a grapefruity color to it. Makes me think of like a Schafferhofer.
Who's a what's-er?
A Schafferhofer, the grapefruit
the
Hefeweizen
grapefruit
beer. But it's definitely got a ruby red grapefruit tinge of color
that
to
smell
it.
is all over the place. So it has a cherry, mango, guava, passion fruit, and vanilla.
So I'm gonna guess that's real cherry there. That's throwing a little bit of that.
That's real cherry there, Clark.
Smells good.
Again,
Very carbonated, but not
Yes.
not head retention. It's
not a lot of head retention. in this
It's like
one.
a soda almost across the top. Yeah.
I can't wait to try it.
All right.
Yeah.
What was the ABV on this one again?
I don't know. I can't because I couldn't find it anywhere, and it's not on.
I thought it was on the can.
Is it?
Oh, maybe it's not.
No, and it's not anywhere that I can look for. Like I tried, like rate
Well, this
beer
is cool
and-
because on our list of
Untapped
international
easy.
beers that were part of our World Cup list, there were some fruitier beers that we didn't get to.
Sorry. Okay, so it's all right. So on Untapped, it's a sour Berliner Weisse, and it's 4.0% ABV, so not very heavy, but
a
should
sour
be interesting.
Berliner Weisse.
Yeah,
It's,
sour Berliner Weisse.
That means it's perfect for summer.
Yeah,
Man, this looks awesome. All right, dude. Good find. A total different style and brewery that we've ever had
Oh,
before.
yeah.
Awesome. Cheers, mates.
So
Cheers.
sorry. Seventh Sun
All
Brewery.
right, here we go. Oh, that's sour.
Oh.
But not like a traditional sour
Is
that's
this our first sour we've had on the pod?
still kicking you. Yes.
Completely unintentional because I did not know it was a sour at the time I bought this.
It's like a grapefruit with just a little tinge of the bitterness or the sour. There are some sours you can get that are like intense. This is not intense. Ron's getting the shivers after taking a sip.
It's not even gonna lie to you. Had no clue this was a sour until I just read that.
I like this because
online.
this shut us up because we've not had anything like this.
No.
Does it smell fruity to you?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely.
Yeah, all the cherry and mango and
I must be having a stroke.
What do you smell?
You're gonna look at me like I'm super weird, but it
What else is new?
to me kind of smells like tuna fish.
now
I don't smell tuna fish.
I
at
did make
all.
a tuna fish sandwich here in the house while you guys were being nice and watching the little kiddo. I'm just throwing that out.
It smells weird.
But I definitely don't smell tuna
I don't
fish in the
smell it
beer.
either.
I'm having a stroke.
You're
I
not-
think you're having
You
a
don't smell
stroke.
almonds or any, what is it, burnt toast or anything like that?
No, I smell tuna fish with my
Ooh,
stroke.
that is an interesting beer. They did have they had another sour when I was there that was good, similar style, but it wasn't called Freak Your Tiki.
This is good. It's real
I like
different.
it, yeah.
I want to get some sours in on this show because I don't want to say I'm a.
Don't do that on my
It's
account.
like when I first got happy beers. I was like, I don't like them that way. You know what I mean? And it took a bit to get into them. I have not found the intro sour. This actually might be a good intro because it's not
Like
too
sour
strong.
is like the new fad right now, right?
Yeah.
It's the hot thing going.
It's a little different. It's
Right.
Yeah.
I
I have one.
sours. Ugh.
I have
Ron's struggling
one
over there.
a special
Sours,
one.
sours and gozas. Ugh.
I got one aging in the fridge for a special occasion for us.
That's not the next one, right? Good.
I just haven't had occasion to try it.
Yeah,
But you might have opened the door.
completely unintentionally opening the door because again, it just says on the it is on the can. It says nothing about sour. at all. It just says it's a Berliner Weisse, and it's...
Well, now we know. Forget Moo Thunder. If Ron loses a bet,
just go sour all day long.
Yeah, sours.
So we can get him like he's mad. Well, Chelsea doesn't do well. We'll give him the sour grapes beer.
Yeah,
Sour grapes.
I don't know if that exists, but it needs to.
Are you a sour fan at all? Like, do you like Sour Patch Kids and all? That's okay.
Nope.
There you go.
Nothing.
Oh, Sour Patch Kids. This kind of.
It's not just put a little Sour Patch Kids in.
It's not the
this
sweetness of it, but yeah, I'm with you. I don't know if you guys are what nerds like me, but if you know the DC cartoon Teen Titans.
Teen Titans Go.
Yeah, the whole when Robin sings to Kid Flash.
Yeah.
Oh, sour grapes. You gotta eat them sour grapes. I can watch that song anytime, and that's what I thought of.
That one where they get caught by the boys all get caught in there, and they're like, I have an idea. We'll wait for our ancestors to come back in a time machine and let us out. And they just keep getting jailed. There's like 12 generations of them all stuck in jail. It's too funny.
That's for our other podcast. Podcast Go. All right,
coming out with a movie.
Yes, they are.
What the hell are y'all
The
talking
Teen
about
Titans
over
are great. I hope my little kid likes it because that's a cartoon I can get behind.
Freak Your Tiki.
All right, man. Freak Your Tiki. Dude, that sounds weird when you say it that way. By Seventh Sun Brewery. We're gonna
Seventh Sun Brewery in Dunedin, and they just opened. They just opened their Tampa Bay brewery and tap room in August of last year.
Now, Ron, if you eat your fruits and veggies over there, I do have another beer for later.
Okay, good.
And if you don't want to have her on, I'll
he's open
I know you're not a fan of sours, and I promise you, I did not know
you drank the
sours.
Moo Thunder Concrete. We all got to finish it.
I'm going to finish it.
Well, hold on. There was that one day that we went through like a smorgasbord of ass beers that one brought in, and he didn't even finish one of them.
The beer with scrapple in it.
Yeah, do you remember that day? You didn't finish one of them.
That's true. I took a sip out of each one because I was hungover like a motherfucker.
And Blake and I just, we sloshed through those three. Like, we wanted to get them done as fast as we could. Every time we took a sip, there was a bitter beer face.
I love Dogfish Brewery, but making something with scrapple, leftover parts of a pig.
We suffered on that one. So yeah, you can drink all of this one and suffer on this one.
But no, I like this.
I do like it. In all honesty, I do.
Hot day by a pool.
But I like sour things. Like I like the sour punch sticks. I like the Sour Patch Kids. So
like
to me,
100% grapefruit juice. I'll slug it. I love it. You know? Yeah.
Nope.
That stuff's good, yo.
Nope.
But this
is good though.
Speaking of sour grapes, they do grow a lot of grapes in Argentina, and the wine is usually pretty good. I especially like the Malbec. But on this day, them's was sour.
Ooh, boy, were they.
Don't cry for messy Argentina.
I got the joke.
Good job.
I don't know if that was the melody.
No, I don't even know what the melody
of the Andrew Lloyd Webber musical Evita.
Yes. Sung by Madonna, right? Isn't the song?
Well, in the movie.
Not originally.
Not originally in the movie, right?
Yeah, in the movie, it was Madonna and oh my gosh, Zorro.
We're back again.
Banderas.
Antonio Banderas.
Yeah, Zorro.
That's all I can think of. And you know what? It's the only movie that matters for him: Desperado and Zorro. So France just they win against Argentina 4-3. But I would think that scoreline does not belie the fact that it felt like France had this
unlocked
just the whole match.
Unlocked.
Yeah, I mean the third goal for Argentina came late in the second half.
And if you were watching this game, and this was we're going to cover a couple of few of the big games from the round of 16 first. But if you were watching this game and somebody told you, out of the game you just watched, who is the best player in the world at the current time? You wouldn't have said Messi.
Well, no.
You wouldn't have said Higuain. You wouldn't have said Di Maria.
Yeah,
you would have said Kylian Mbappe, a 19-year-old for France.
He looked fantastic.
That looked like he was shot out of a cannon every single time. And with that kind of pace, too.
New superstar for Real Madrid. Where's the rumor?
No. He's at PSG right now.
No.
He was on loan at Monaco.
I know, but
or from Monaco.
There are a couple teams that are going after him. Real Madrid and Manchester City.
He'll be on Madrid.
Is going hard after him. And I'm like, they already have enough people that can score everywhere.
He'll be on
Please
Madrid.
don't go to Man City. Don't go to Man City.
He'll be on Madrid. But he I mean, I don't even know what to say. He was by far the best player.
That was amazing.
in this game. Like, by far the best player in this game.
Yeah. You're accurate. I was I was out with a bunch of people and we were all talking, and there were some people that were not big soccer fans, and they had heard everybody talking about Messi, and they were like, "Why is he the best?"
If you didn't know, if you had just come into watching soccer to join in on the World Cup, you would not know. You would not know.
And there was also probably one of the best goals of the tournament in this game as well, not scored by Mbappe or Messi. Di Maria's was nice, but not one of the best of the tournament. Pavard's kind of was a half volley shot that just sailed into the back of the net. Beautifully struck kick. If you get a chance, I think it on Fox, it was like voted the #1 goal thus far.
I know we're broken.
He hit it so cleanly.
I don't mean to come across like broken record. We say this over and over, but this World Cup has been awesome because the goals like that are not a rarity in this World Cup. It seems like there's just been some amazing plays consistently through almost all the matches. It's so much fun to watch. I'm going to be so depressed when the World Cup actually ends.
Yeah, that's accurate.
And not to mention, one of the first round of 16 games that we get is France and Argentina, already a powerhouse, and there's 7 goals in between.
And this was the France we were waiting to show up at the group stage. They didn't quite. They didn't quite all click together. And they certainly, in this match, move up the rank of favorites to me and how well they played.
Yeah, I mean, they've kind of been one of the favorites all tournament long. They haven't lost a game yet. And this, you're right. They didn't really look particularly convincing in the group stages. But in this game, they started out strong. They ended strong. And they put Argentina to bed in the second half. In a convincing style.
Oh, yeah. And, I mean, let's say it, Argentina limped into this round of 16 anyway.
Yeah, and I think the only reason they got there is because they basically held a mutiny and told their manager that they weren't listening to him anymore.
That was all just a hot mess.
Well, yeah, there's that too.
Speaking of a hot mess with managers, that brings us to our next match, where Spain falls to home team Russia. 1-1 goes to penalty kicks. What a blast!
Yeah, that was a fun match. And especially at the end, and Spain is just pouring it on. Well,
and as the story will go, Russia tries to do this twice. Russia, I mean, they played well.
The Russians.
A lot of fitness, but Spain already all the rumblings of why did they fire their coach? They should have let him stick through. Like did you take a team of talented people and then pull a Jenga piece out at a bad time? And maybe you didn't like the way it was handled or whatever, but
yeah, it certainly seems like it was all done for the pride of
Spain. Felt very underperforming.
Sure,
I
mean the sacking of that manager really reeks of someone's pride was hurt. So I'm taking all my cookies and going home.
Yeah.
And when it comes down to it, though, I mean, the players on the pitch did not shine themselves in any sort of glory.
No. And they lost to the lowest
did not play
ranking.
up to anywhere near their potential. They honestly looked tired.
And they played against the lowest ranking team that entered the tournament. They only got in because they were a host country.
And they didn't even score a goal. It was an own goal. I mean, It was like they looked tired. They looked around. I think you were sending us text back and forth in the game that was something like, it looks like Spain is playing as if they have a 3-0 lead right now.
Yeah, that was a great quote. Yeah, that was totally it. They looked relaxed, foot off the gas, but
yeah,
I'm really glad Russia won in this case because, screw that, man. Russia's playing their hearts out against a team that on paper is way better than they are.
Yeah, and with Russia's long-distance striking in this tournament has been ridiculous. Sinking goals from
I would
way
say
outside.
their next match, one of the best goals of the tournament happened. Speaking of long distance goals.
Yeah, one of the best ones, yeah. I still think the Germany against Sweden at the buzzer was probably the goal of the tournament for me.
But that was the other one was run a play.
Yeah.
That was another.
Well, we'll
set piece.
We'll get into a last minute goal here in a second that I think tops either one of those two.
But again, we shouldn't have that many in one tournament.
Right.
That's what's crazy.
Right.
Is we are having so many good goals throughout this entire
Are you talking
tournament.
about Chadley's?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was pretty brilliant.
What's your headline here? The Russians roll on, knocking out yet another favorite in Spain.
Think about it. Spain's out. Portugal's out. Argentina's out. Germany's out. Who else am I forgetting in all of that? Or is that really
I mean,
a lot of the big boys there?
Yeah, I mean, that's most of the big boys there. I mean, France.
Still in it, yeah.
Right, France is...
I think that's all the big boys. Yeah.
France is probably the biggest one still left. And then probably England, Belgium kind of tie.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I mean... And for a team that came in, to the tournament, and everybody was like, they're not even going to get out of their own group on their homeland. Not only did they get out of the group, they then go on to beat Spain, who were a lot of people's favorites in the tournament.
Yeah.
And they will go on to give Croatia a run for their money.
Yes, they would. Yeah.
Big run for the money. In one of the best games of the whole friggin' tournament. Ridiculous.
Just awesome.
Speaking of good games.
Yeah.
Who would have thought one of the best games of the World Cup 2018 would be between Belgium and Japan?
Wow. Just
That
amazing.
was
Insane.
Non-stop roller coaster.
Insane.
I think whoever ended up winning, it was a heartbreaker for the other team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they were both. That was such a fantastic match to watch. Japan punching way above weight, and you better watch out for them next go round.
Yeah.
Holy cow!
And some nice goals in that too from Japan. Was it Haraguchi or Inoue that scored that outside of the box volley strike?
Haraguchi.
Man, he hit all of that one as clean as can be.
Inui's was off a cross.
And this was absolutely going to go to extra time. But Belgium won 3-2 with that last minute goal.
Those last two goals, Marouane Fellaini's goal, he had a phenomenal game, and he had his last match as a sub. Yeah, as a sub, he was a difference maker, which is super good because you don't normally. Well, I don't normally see him do that at Manchester United. He comes on, he plays a good shift. He's a solid player, but he's been a huge impact to this Belgium team.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I mean, this is kind of what he does at Man U. He comes in as a second half impact sub, and that's how he got his goal to tie it up in this game. Is he came in, he got in the box, and he had his big afro head on the ball and put it in the back of the net. Him and Chadley were the two subs in this game, and they changed the tide of this game drastically, and it needed to be done. And a lot of times you forget, we talk about managers and how much impact they actually have on teams and in the game. Well, Martinez made two powerhouse subs, and Fellaini got the second goal to tie him up.
Right.
And Chadley got the last goal.
And he got a lot of flack on Twitter in the moment for taking Lukaku off.
Oh, yeah. Well, no. He didn't take Lukaku off in this game because if you remember...
Oh, that was the next match. My bad.
It was the last game, or the most recent game.
My bad.
They took him off. But for having Japan go up on one of the dark horses and yet another big team in this tournament to go up 2-0 with about 38 minutes left in the game was huge. But give it to Belgium on how they turned it around. And like I said, those two subs changed it. A little bit fortunate on the Vertonghen first goal with the header back into the box. That was more of a lob pass than an actual floater into the back of the goal, but it went in. But their last goal, the way Belgium countered and how fast they countered on Japan was phenomenal.
Yeah.
They countered out of the box off of a corner so quickly, and it started with Courtois just power roll out, and then they were gone, and they spread the field and had the Japan center backs have to try to split and contend with what's going to happen. But how fast they were coming and how wide they got, it really opened Japan up. And then from a center forward whose main job is to put the ball in the back of the net, and that's what they want to do, and they want to get Golden Boot, and they want to be on SportsCenter, and they want to do this. Lukaku got on SportsCenter for not putting the ball in the back of the net.
Yep.
He got on there because he played a dummy.
I don't know that Lukaku wants to get on Sports Center.
No, I'm not saying Sports Center,
Right,
but I'm saying to get on the highlights and to get on the Golden Boot race, and he scores another dramatic winner. He leaves that on a beautiful dummy for Chadley just to come in wide open and essentially just tap the ball in. Without that, they wouldn't. They'd be going to extra time. They'd still be trying to pull A right now. Wonderful counter from Belgium though that earned this win. Sad for Japan because of how well Japan played, but
of a lot of the teams that not only World Cup teams, club teams, watching a club team that can recognize the counter is coming and immediately capitalize on it and spread the field so thin, yet trap the center backs so well. That's such a rare thing. And to watch a national team do it is even more rare because they don't get to play together all the time like a club team does.
So why isn't Roberto Martinez still coaching in the Premier League? Why couldn't he do that at Everton?
well, for one thing, he didn't have the type of players that
No, they were ridiculous.
have.
They absolutely do. But I mean, he looks so good, Roberto Martinez, in this tournament. Like, he looks like, I mean, his record, I think they have 1 loss, 5 draws, 19 wins.
19 wins, yeah.
I think I would say he's more of a short-term manager.
Well, maybe he works well for a national team.
Right. He's good in short burst and can get them performing very well. And again, I mean, the Belgian team is riddled with talent.
Yeah, it's a who's who of the Premier League.
I want England and Belgium to get to the final together just so it's like a Premier League All-Star game. That's pretty much what it would be.
Yeah, essentially. But I mean, when you take off Dries Mertens and you put on Chadley, who's not up to, not quite up to that, but Chadley, who's known in the I'm sorry, Dries Mertens was taken off by taken off and Fellaini was brought on, and then Yannick Carrasco was the sub for Chadley to bring in that type of talent. 2 Premier League players then come on that have played at high levels. Chadley used to play at Tottenham, now plays at West Brom, and Fellaini, Everton, and Manchester United. That's depth. That's depth in this team. And they still had people on the bench that they could have brought in as well. Batshuayi. That's what
they say when he scores.
Right. Speaking of which, did you guys see the clip of the game before that they won and him celebrating so much? I think, did you say this on the last pod, Ron? Where he kicked it against the damn post and it hit him in the face.
I could watch that all day. I giggle like a 12-year-old every time I see it.
Classic. He didn't get the chance to do this because he never actually came onto this game. But yeah, so much depth on this Belgium team, and
they host the world's largest electronic dance music festival.
Hans, my lighting guy.
But man, it felt so bad for Japan at the end.
Yeah.
Just because they played their hearts out, and what a game they played. But in the end, they just couldn't. I think a thing Japan needs to work on for the next go-round is they need to work on their fitness, their stamina, because they really do kind of fade out toward the last third of the match. And they...
but again, they were playing against like the all-stars of the Premier
That's
League.
true.
I mean,
that's 100% true.
Well, and should they have taken a short corner there?
Nope.
No. Although usually the short corner is the kind of, you're trying not to give up the counter.
I don't know. So in my opinion, if you're going to do a short corner, you're doing one of 2 things. 1, you're wasting the clock.
Right.
What
2,
you want to do?
You are playing the quote short corner and then putting that ball back in the box. If you are we've seen plenty of teams that are down by 1 or 2, or it's still tied and it's the waning moments. They play a short corner, then they play it to the next guy at the edge of the box. He fumbles it up. The defense gets it and sends it away. All you have done is deprived yourself of a scoring chance. That's all you've done. Stop it with these stupid short corners.
But
it's the fad right now.
Oh, no, I get a vast majority we're saying. But in the game, I think Japan has to be a little bit wiser here because they win up 2-0, and then all the momentum was in Belgium's favor. They came back and tied it up 2-2. To play a corner with little time left, I mean, the goal was the last kick of the game. They have no height in the box. They're not going to win that whatsoever. You play a short corner to take time off the clock, keep it in the corner, and then get yourselves to extra time where you can then pose a threat and actually try to win the game.
I don't think that's accurate. They were gassed.
I don't think you try to lump the ball into the box though when you have no height in there and really no. I mean,
so don't.
How many corners have they scored this World Cup?
Don't put it through on an aerial corner. Send it low to the top of the box like tons of other teams do. Play it out and get a shot on goal. You are not going to win if you don't take the shot on goal. And they were listless and lazy at the end. And part of it is their fitness. So. They still squandered a shot on goal at the end of the game. They squandered it. They play a short corner. They lose the ball. They don't make a shot on goal.
I thought Couture came out, caught it, and then he came out and rolled.
He caught a loose ball off of a fumbled interception is really what happens. There's no shot on goal there.
Speaking of shots on goal, we've got a match we're going to talk about later that has a lot of those that didn't actually matter. Where does this lead us to? Oh, for our last of the round of 16, Colombia versus England. Friggin' penalty kicks. I don't think I anticipated this match to go this way with Colombia. I mean, Colombia played very well.
Did they though?
England played very bad.
The first half, Colombia didn't play very well.
And
Colombia played like they were in a street fight.
Yeah,
the second half is when they played.
Yeah, they were pretty elbowy and
well, to me, this shows the weakness of the it's coming home. Never mind, we suck. We're gonna the English media does. That match was almost it right there. I was like, God, if England goes out right here,
had Hamas been in the lineup, it may have been England's last match.
Yeah,
because I think Colombia went into it knowing they don't have their main playmaker. So let's play this other way. Let's play a little bit more elbows, knees, tackles,
a lot more
hugs,
aggressive,
a lot more. Yeah, let's try to slow them. Well, if you're looking at the penalty call, I mean, Kane got bear hugged down to the ground, and
he did,
you know. And I think they kind of went in going, okay, we don't have our main guy, so let's go with that tactic. When that really didn't work in the first half, they started to then play a little bit more their style, fast pace, get the ball going quick, get the ball to the sides, up and down the channels. And started to play that way. They had a lot of chances, and England were on the back foot a lot in the second half. And sooner or later, the dam broke for England. And yet again, Mina got another goal off of a corner.
Yep.
To send Colombia into extra time with England.
In the gasp of stoppage time.
And when it went into extra time, you knew it was like, this is going to go to penalties. Neither team is scoring.
Yeah.
You could just feel it.
Or that England would be so devastated that they just were moments away from advancing in regular time and they got taken away from them. Yeah, you didn't know.
I did have a friend watching the match at a local British pub and got a video as the final penalty kick went in to seal the deal, and it's great. It's like I think he's the only American in there, him and his wife, and the place just melts down. That's probably my favorite part of this are the reaction shots of the fans back home, then the streets, like whatever. I love that,
especially when in Antwerp when Belgium scores that last one in stoppage time, going back one match, watching Antwerp just come apart was so cool.
So amazing.
And it was even more amazing for England fans because they have never won a penalty shootout in the World Cup.
No, when it went to it, everybody thought that was it. They were done.
Yeah.
They were done.
Everything kind of going up to this game was if they get into it, Ken Southgate, who was a part of 1990, and he missed a penalty, and they lost that one to Germany.
Who put up that tweet, a picture of him going, Southgate looks like he's about to take over the Takashima Tower and Die Hard.
That's right.
Yeah, that suit and everything. Yeah, true.
That's funny.
But
Nakashima?
Nakatomi.
Nakatomi. It's been a while since I've seen Die Hard.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Wow.
Of course.
2 mother effers in one podcast. That's rare.
Quote, though.
That's a rare one.
Quite personal, Georgia. All right. Anyways,
what did you say?
what was it? Quite partial to Roy Rogers.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Oh, love that movie. What a classic.
Yeah, and now we have a new one coming out that's
Another Die Hard?
Well,
that's
no.
half Die Hard, half Towering Inferno.
Yeah, this is the Dwayne the Rock Johnson, the skyscraper flick.
Yeah.
Well, that gets us out of the round of 16 into the quarterfinals.
Ooh, some great games there.
Again, so we kick off with France against Uruguay.
Speaking
and
of
again,
The Rock.
the France that we were waiting to show up in the group stages still is here from the previous match against Argentina, and they own Uruguay 2-0 and look like they had it. They just, again, they had it.
Yeah, and a goal right before half, which is always a killer. Rafael Varane gets his noggin on it and sends France into the half with a 1-0 lead. And then shortly after half, a Griezmann shot from outside the box. Very good strike. Had a little bit of movement in the air. Should have been stopped. Really, really should have been stopped. Kind of had the goalie going one way, his hands going the other, and it just fumbled into the back of the net.
Yeah, that
was
keeper,
at that point you knew it was done.
That keeper was solidly beat by that. Just his hands were way out to the right, had no power behind it. So that was a well struck on that.
And again, France looks great. And Ferris is, I don't know what this is from. Your headline for this.
Well, Ron's apparently saying it's a quote from the upcoming hit movie Skyscraper, but I saw this on Bleacher Report's Instagram, maybe, and I just got a kick out of it.
Okay.
It's a line he delivers to his captors in the movie.
Oh, I don't speak French. I kiss that way, but go kick ass. Out of context, that's a really bad quote.
Yeah,
and I'm not sure what it means, but maybe I'll catch that movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was. I didn't realize that it came from the film. I thought it's something that he came out and was supporting France and just said that line, and I was like, "That's well done."
My favorite thing is the place that does the realistic movie posters, and they just retitled him to realistically, and it's got the shot of him making that jump from the crane to the building. Instead of saying skyscraper, it says physics don't work.
Yeah. Well, it's Hollywood. Yeah. There are no physics.
There aren't, but there's always that danger when you're doing the movie of oh, this isn't like a superhero thing. We're grounding this in a Die Hard style. We're emulating Die Hard, which was very Hollywood but real. The guy walked on broken glass and he got hurt and that kind of stuff. This dude jumping at a 2 miles wide chasm between his crane and the skyscraper.
Wait, you can't do that?
Terrible. No, that's called Fast and the Furious. In those movies, we understand that's how that works. But
and he's in that as well.
The Rock's in everything. He's in Jumanji.
Yep.
I mean, he's in everything.
Yep.
And the remake for Jumanji was actually pretty good. They did a bunch of trickery.
Oh, it's way better than
it was pretty entertaining.
I ever would have imagined.
It was good.
That's for other podcasts. Dwayne The Rock Johnson filmography today.
What was the Tooth Fairy one he was in?
The Tooth Fairy.
Was that what it seriously was called?
Yeah.
Oh, no oh my God. I thought it had some catchy Disney name for it or something.
Yeah, it's called the Tooth Fairy.
Okay. Well,
it's real to the point.
Him in a blue satin gown with wings.
Yeah.
Can't beat it.
It's going to be, this podcast will last for years because Dwayne The Rock Johnson's going to keep making movies. Our rock podcast.
The rock podcast. Awesome.
Just called These Films Rock.
Yep. Terrible.
Yep.
Gross. I want my money back. Look at Mr. Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Let's have a look at the big fella here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, from the Tooth Fairy film.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's no joke.
Nice cleavage.
Yeah, that's...
Look at that. Wow, that's
a lot of makeup work to cover up all those tattoos as well.
That's something. Does he have tattoos on his chest?
Oh, yeah, dude.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't look at pictures of him with his shirt off.
In any movie he's in with his shirt off, which is most of them, he's
true.
you can see all the tattoos.
Look at that nightgown from him.
Yep.
Good Lord.
Again, save it for the rock podcast, guys.
He'd still whoop your ass in a heartbeat without thinking twice. He'd crush your head with one palm of his hand. He's a very nice guy. He's a very, very nice guy.
He'd give you a hug first.
I love that this is what the poster says. Oh my God, this is brilliant. You can't handle the tooth.
Oh, that's funny.
That's a good one.
Oh my gosh.
That's a good one.
Oh.
Stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
But brilliant.
Moving on. Our next match, Brazil versus Belgium.
Who knew we were going off
Oh,
on a
man.
tooth fairy tangent?
Welcome to the rock. You have to
Yeah,
do,
we got
you have
to
to
do
do your
Welcome to the Rock. Yeah.
He's not in that. He should have been in that.
No. That's just, it's too late. But when they do the remake of The Rock breaking out of the Rock,
Right.
I'll watch that.
Oh,
I'll
heck
watch
yeah.
that.
The
The
Rock.
Humvee flies from the island all the way to the mainland. Unbelievable.
Hopefully they can get to Sean Connery come out of retirement just to, who am I speaking to? Just Rock.
Welcome,
Do you
Rock.
smell?
Do you smell what the Rock is cooking?
Welcome, Rock, to the Rock.
That's the opening line. And you're like, what are they doing? And he goes, well, that's because you're smelling eggs because it's breakfast day. That's the best day to escape. That's the opening to the movie.
Oh, is this sour got to us already?
You sure it wasn't 12%?
Oh, no, it's just 4%. Pretty good, though.
It still smells like tuna fish.
Moving on to Belgium and Brazil. Belgium, best Brazil, 2-1. Brazil's probably lucky to get one in. Belgium rolled over Neymar and Brazil.
See what we did there?
All the videos of the kids doing the Neymar.
Oh, it's so brilliant.
Man,
Great.
you hurt, when you go to the links that he did, you hurt your team so bad because even if you're just supposed to be doing what's in front of you, there's no way as a ref you aren't like second guessing. It was just a terrible like.
And here's the thing. The game that he really got was the game before this against Mexico when he had that horrific roll. The guy didn't stomp, but he put his foot on his ankle. Yes, the guy should have been sent off. But his role in that is what all of this memes and kids doing this came from. And it's forgotten that, oh, by the way, he had a goal and an assist in that game and played probably the best game he had in the tournament. But yet his dumbass whatever being immature and trying to get a call from the ref or just being a goddamn took over that he is such a brilliant player.
And Mbappe had a big flop in one of his matches, to be fair.
Oh, yes, but you're trying to lead essentially a country to another World Cup title. The Pele of our current time for Brazil. And Ronaldinho. He has the talent to do it. And he showed that. Like, he had a pretty decent tournament. His first game wasn't the best. And yes, he got fouled a lot and whatnot, but he did not help himself by the way he rolled, by the way he faked, by the way he didn't play the game the way he was supposed to. And when it came to being a gentleman of the game.
That role was the icing on the cake of all the other ones that he had done as well. It wasn't just one incident that everybody's making fun of. That one is just the most absurd of all the ones that he had done.
Well, Kevin De Bruyne put a nail in that. He was like, nope.
Yep, done.
Yeah.
With a laser, just a beautiful ball.
Absolute laser.
And again, Belgium playing the top of their game, and Brazil, yes, everyone says they're dangerous and they get out of their group, but much like how we were waiting for France to get clicking, and obviously they did, I feel like Brazil never rose to the level of the talent that they were, which sometimes happens in these international tournaments where you've got a team full of all-star players, but they don't play together on a regular basis, and it just doesn't click for whatever reason.
Yeah, and Brazil kind of they go on a rampage at the end of this match trying to get goals in.
I looked. The stat was insane. It was 26 shots or something to like Belgium's. Not like they had so many more shots.
Yeah.
And Courtois was on his game in this.
Oh,
he had a couple of saves, and he really kept him in it.
Beautiful saves. But I think one of the key moments in the game was as Eden Hazard's two brilliant plays on the ball and getting two fouls to really help Belgium run the clock out on Brazil, because he took on four players, beat all four, and then a fifth had to come in and just annihilate him to keep him off the ball in the waning seconds of this match. So not only was Courtois on his game, Hazard was on his game, even though he didn't score. De Bruyne, I mean, man, them putting De Bruyne up top or up further in the midfield really opened up that play. So just think about your attacking core is Kevin De Bruyne,
It's ridiculous.
Lukaku, and Eden Hazard. Just brilliant.
And you said it there. Lukaku really opened up that play as well. He had for not scoring a goal in this game, he had one of the best performances from a center forward in the World Cup to date. His off the ball play was some of the best seen.
Well, his
runs, his strength, his hold up play, everything.
He's the one that started the Kevin De Bruyne counter by taking that Courtois ball to the chest, opens that up, and takes on 1-2 defenders, splits 2 other defenders with a pass. De Bruyne gets 2 touches on the ball and lasers it in the back.
And how he maneuvered through midfield for a guy of his size.
Yeah.
His feet work and pace was insane. You would have thought he was a Pogba in the midfield who'd been playing in the midfield.
Yeah.
He really had a fantastic game without getting the ball on without getting the ball in the back of the net. And you said it earlier, he was subbed off in this game, but I think that was a smart call because he used all of his energy in this game, and they ended up pulling it off. I think a real big key loss to Brazil in this game was Casemiro did not play in this match because he had card accumulation.
Yeah.
It's a big loss in midfield. Who came in for him, Fernandinho, is actually the own goal on Belgium's first off of a corner. Can really happen to anybody, but
That was the calf, right?
No, that was like the off the shoulder. He went up to head it, and it just. I don't see Casemiro doing that, if I'm being honest. And I think Casemiro can control a midfielder or can control a midfield with more strength and with more potency than Fernandinho can. I mean, look what he does for Madrid. And look how he was in most of Brazil's game. He really bosses that midfield a lot for them and allows some of the more flashy players like Neymar, like Coutinho, to open up and play by holding down and kind of protecting that back four, but connecting the back four to those forwards. So I think that was a big miss in this game from Brazil. And they almost got away because they when they brought on Gusto and he got that goal 2-1, you thought, okay, we may be seeing another game yet again that is going to be going to extra time and penalties, but Belgium hung on, moved through.
And this brings us over to Sweden and England.
Oh, the bet heard around Twitter.
Between David Beckham and Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
Yep.
This is like we said, France finally stepping up to be the team you thought they could be. This is where England, to me, like they completely gelled.
Yeah.
Because the argument has been up to this point, England hasn't played teams like some of the others have. Hasn't been a tough run. England looked great in this. They had controlled the whole game. What's your headline? Euphoria for England in aisle 8 of IKEA, and Zlatan will finally be in a Three Lions kit. And eat fish and chips.
And eat fish and
with David
chip. Fish and chips.
Fish and chips.
Yeah. That's if it's too greasy.
At Wembley Stadium. And then did you guys see that there was a London IKEA that a whole bunch of England fans eagerly stormed into and were like hopping on beds and futons, and they weren't really destroyed. I mean, they destroyed it by hopping, but they weren't like going in there with mean intent. They were just, you get a chance, watch some of like the online stuff, and to IKEA's, to them, they went out on their social media accounts and was like, it was an awesome game. Congrats. Just for you guys beating us. All fish and chips the next day will be only $1 at all IKEA stores. And like they were kind of just going around with it and just playing along with it. But
they just made money.
Yeah, you don't quite condone what the England fans did, but there's a lot worse things they could have been doing.
There's a great sketch in that, like, it's coming home, bouncing up and down. It's coming up. Wait, this is really nice made. I like this. Can I get this in red?
Yeah, so if you
all these instructions.
Why do I have extra parts?
Exactly. Any IKEA thing.
So if you don't know, essentially before this match was played, like a day or so before, Zlatan essentially issued a bet to David Beckham that was like, hey, if Sweden wins, you have to buy me stuff from IKEA. And then Beckham.
No, it wasn't from IKEA. It was if.
Yeah, I thought it was from IKEA. Because Sweden.
Was it?
IKEA. That's why IKEAs are blue and yellow.
No, I understand all that, but I didn't think the bet revolved.
I knew
around
that if England had won, it was David said he had to come watch the next match with him wearing a 3-line shirt and eating fish and chips.
Right, at Wembley. But
at Wembley, yeah.
But Zlatan said you have to take me to IKEA and buy me
some Swedish meatballs. Is that what it was?
It was something about IKEA. And then Beckham responded that I'll take you and buy you anything you want for your sweet mansion in LA. So yeah, it was about IKEA.
I love the idea of Zlatan shopping at IKEA. They don't make anything long enough.
You were 100% right there, Mr. It was please win. I do not want to take this man to IKEA Servage and buy him whatever he wants. You were 100% on there, Ron. That makes that headline even more funny. I didn't realize that. I thought it would just buy him anything he wanted to furnish his mansion house.
So yeah, so that bet just took over Twitter by storm. Right, in the days leading up to the match. So now it'll be fun to see how Twitter handles,
I want to see him at Wembley.
What is the first England game back?
Is it Wednesday? Oh, the first game back at Wembley.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
I don't know if it's. I'm sure we'll see when they.
You sure it wasn't that they were there to watch the World Cup because they were watching it from Wembley?
I don't.
Because I know some of the stadiums had been setting up
yeah.
to watch the matches
big
and
watch
stuff.
parties.
Yeah, like I think Anfield had one and stuff. And then our final match of the quarterfinal games, man, was a good one. Russia and Croatia.
Oh God, Croatia!
What a
just on fire
2-2. But that, this is.
Two extra time goals.
You don't see frequently. Goal in the 31st minute for Russia. Goal in the 39th for Croatia. Then in the 101st minute for Croatia and 115th for Russia. That last minute
and that
goal.
115th minute goal, God, that was pretty.
Just
when you thought, okay, it's done, we're ticking down. Russia's not coming back. Ding.
And we're going to penalty kicks.
And from a player who's had himself a really good tournament.
Yeah. Fernandez has been
he's had a really, really good tournament. And you almost wanted to see them go through on home soil and kind of see how everything was.
Melt down.
Yeah. You almost kind of did. But it was just not quite meant to be as Croatia win yet another penalty kick. And
England's so happy because Croatia look gassed.
Yes, they look. Yes, they do. Yes, they did.
Absolutely gassed.
Yeah, but I will say their bench is still still got some really
England
good depth.
Still screw this up. They could totally
that would be
screw this up.
But Croatia, we talked about it, I think, in the last pod. Their midfield is fantastic, and they made a substitution in this and started Kramanic in this game, opposed to
Rakitic?
No, oh gosh, not Perisic. Anyways, that substitution came true because Kramaric made a good run. Kind of a nice goal for him, a good cross in from Mandzukic in, and Kramaric got his head on it to kind of set them off their way and tie it up only 8 minutes after the Russians scored the first goal. So a really kind of sneaky move there, and it paid off in the first half and showed good as they advance.
It's awesome.
Yeah, the home crowd, just watching the people. Because there were so many Croatians, obviously so many Russians there. The fan reactions through the whole match were it was riveting. And that penalty kick situation, wasn't that the first PKs that went past the 5 initial? Because of misses, didn't they end up going? Did they go one past?
I didn't think so. I could be wrong.
Because they had a lot of that one. They had a lot of misses, like a couple of saves.
It was the first miss that was really killer. No, they went
that was
5.
a terrible.
It was the one tried to right down the center and
he got his hand on it.
Got his feet on it.
Oh yeah,
when he went to dive, and that was the Russia on Croatia as they went first. And I think I just checked it went 5.
And both keepers got saves. Both it was a crazy.
Yeah, it was a save fest in that one.
And then this brings us up to our beer picks bracket.
You didn't even read the headline.
I'm sorry, which headline?
That was quite.
The law offices of Modric and Radic for the penalty. Which is only funny if you're
in Orlando.
Florida and Orlando with the, what's the lawyer?
Morgan and Morgan.
For the people.
For the people.
Yeah. Or as anyone who has been screwed by them before says, Morgan and Morgan, the people.
I did not know that one.
Yeah.
I would have changed my headline to that.
So here's some cool stats real quick so far. We have had 60 of 64 games played. So is that right? That's not right.
Wait, say that
no,
again?
that is right.
That's right, yeah.
Because you would have, let's see, wait. You've got your 2 semifinals.
We only have 3 left, right? 2 semis. Third place.
Third place.
And then
your
okay.
final.
So yeah, 60 of 64 matches played. Harry Kane is the current Golden Boot front runner for 6 goals, followed by Lukaku at 4 goals. Everybody else is home. So
is Griezmann at what, 3?
Griezmann's at 3. So he's going to have to step up huge. Tournament stats, 157 goals scored in our 60 games, 205 yellow cards, 4 red cards. Guess how many passes completed in this tournament so far?
25,000.
Jeez. I don't even know what number to throw out. What, 800 something in a normal match? Something like that?
Just guess. Just guess.
So 25,000.
So let's say 32,000.
46,172 passes completed. That's ridiculous.
A lot of passes.
Top goals, Belgium with 14. Best attacking team so far, 292 with Brazil. The most accurate passing team in the tournament, Spain, 3,120 passes.
Well, that's
completed.
easy when you're passing from me to you in the studio.
Yeah.
The accuracy's real good here. That's all Spain did the entire tournament.
Pretty much. And then the best.
They should have tried passing into the goal.
Correct.
Right, yeah. Take a guess on the best defending team.
Are they still in the tournament?
No.
Best defending team. Iceland was pretty good through the group stage. I don't know. Best defending team.
Throw out one that I doubt's right, but Morocco?
What about you, Blake?
I'll go with Iceland.
Russia.
I was going to guess Russia.
259 clearances,
Samsonite.
tackles, and or saves. And then the most attempts by any attacking player, Neymar with 27. The most distance.
Wait. Is that his flops or his attacking attempts?
Most distance covered, Zabnin from Russia, 62 kilometers.
I believe that. Those dudes are running.
They ran all over.
Yep.
Running.
Most passes completed, 485, Sergio Ramos from Spain. And then
Again, you're passing from me to you. It's easy.
And then who had the most saves in the tournament so far?
Russia.
Because I can fay off.
There's a Courtois with Belgium.
I don't know.
I don't think they were.
Most is whoever the team that he's on still in the tournament?
Nope.
Well, of course not.
I'm gonna go Russia.
I will go. I don't know. Just say it. I really don't know.
Mexico. Guillermo.
Oh, Ochoa, yeah.
Yeah, Ochoa. 25
That makes sense.
lead changing saves.
Oh, and he had some doozies in this tournament.
Yeah, he did. So some pretty cool stats. You can check those all out on the FIFA.com website, which is where I got them. 4 more matches to go.
Pretty cool.
So now this brings us to our beer picks, where we take our World Cup.
Do we want to have
Beers?
another beer before?
Oh yeah. I was gonna pass around a beer while we were doing
there.
it. So if you want to explain what we're doing, I'll get the beers out.
Oh, okay. That requires me to explain what we're doing.
Yeah.
Our Brewtiful Beer Bracket Challenge. We basically, according to www.ratebeer.com, took the best. There he is.
Oh, I just drank the warm remnants.
Took the best beer from the country, not what you can get in the country or not what is exported from the country, but the best beer that you can get in the country. And we took the best one, again, according to ratebeer.com. And then just like we made our picks in our brackets in general, we picked the top 2 beers out of each group and then put them into a bracket style. And on the last pod, we then picked our first round, our round of 16 winners. And that sets us up for some doozy matchups here in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, dude. This beer would be great because we don't need to talk about the brewery very much that I'm going to pass out for our second beer. It is from a local favorite, Cigar City Brewing Company. Yeah. And it is a brew of theirs I've never had. They are in Tampa, or I guess Ybor, right?
Local, yeah. Staying in the Tri-County area there. I like it.
So we're staying local. A great brewery. A lot of different fun beers. And lately they've been cranking out some different stuff. And this is one of them.
Oh, I'm excited.
Super.
This is the...
Oh, I had this in my fridge.
Tocobaga Red India Pale Ale.
I picked this up the last time I was... This is the same when I went to these. Yeah, I picked this up. I saw this too. It's not bad. Nice
So
choice.
here you are. So
Awesome.
as the description says, brimming with citra hops, our red IPA tempers its bitterness with rich malt flavors, reminiscent of caramel and bread crust. Notes of blueberry and pine round out this assertive yet balanced ale. So here we go.
Oh, thank God it's not a sour.
I could have grabbed one.
The smell on this one's fantastic. I'm going to do mine out of the can here, gents.
Oh, here we go. Bam. Am I saying that right? Tocobaga?
You're asking me?
Tocobaga?
There's no way in hell. Yeah, I believe you're saying it right. It's like a...
I love Cigar City's new can designs they've gone for as well.
Look at that head retention.
It's got good one.
Blake actually has the
Ooh.
best one. That's good head retention there,
And it
Blake.
does. It smells good.
Mm.
Pine and blueberry.
Oh, yeah.
Just like it says.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, here we go, gentlemen. Cheers.
Sláinte. Good choice, Blake.
Ooh.
That's what a beer's
Whoa.
supposed to taste like.
Whoa. I'm going to call foul. I don't know that their malt rounds out the bitterness on this. I think this is a pretty hoppier beer than I
Yes, it is.
anticipated.
Yeah, it is a bunch
Based on
hoppier.
the description. Anyway, based on this, I'm not saying it's bad. It's just the description made me think it would be a little more like a Dale's Pale Ale, a little balanced, or a little more sweetness. But this is tasty.
We went from a sour to a hop beer. That's
Thank God.
It's good. And actually, Dale's Pale Ale is a good comparison. It's not, Dale's Pale's got the dark red kind of pale ale. This is a very similar vibe. Smells good.
good. Yeah, no, I picked this up
It's good. It's good. Real good. What's that? I just watched Paddington Bear yesterday, by the way.
Is what?
Paddington.
I don't think I've ever seen that before.
you-
No, I know what
Yeah.
it is, but I've never
It's
seen it.
quintessentially British, right? You
Uh-huh.
know, it's a British story. The Paddington the Bear. You know Paddington, right, Ron?
I do.
The
Sorry.
marmalade?
Yes.
The movie is delightful.
Oh,
We were just in that mood. We couldn't figure out what we wanted to watch last night. We're like, this is silly. We're going to watch this. It was so delightful.
Who was it now?
Yeah, if you are an Arsenal fan, there's an actor in there. Maybe I was like, is that Cabby got? And it's the guy who Ron, I forget the actor's name, but the short bald dude in the last season of Doctor Who was like, hello there. He was like
Oh,
the
yeah, the
alien that got
comedian.
rebuilt as a
Yeah, he's the
He
comedian.
looked like a human, but he wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's a huge Arsenal fan. So he plays this cabbie that picks up the family, and he's got this cannon swinging from his thing. I thought it was a joke because he takes one of his teeth and gets some like plated gold. And instead of his normal like "hello everybody" accent, he's like, "Oh, open a car, I'll take you bear." And the cannon was swinging. I was like, someone's a Chelsea fan. It turns out no, he's a huge Arsenal fan. So
Awesome.
he totally did that all on purpose. Yeah,
That's funny.
Nice.
and Doctor Who's in it. Peter Capaldi plays the weird
yeah?
old dude that lives above. Yeah, it was
fun.
It's Paddington.
Speaking
For our
of-
podcast on children's movies,
Yes.
can't recommend it enough. Delightful.
Speaking of Arsenal, do you know who signed with West Ham today?
We just signed Callum Chambers to an extension, right?
Right, but who signed from West Ham? Former Arsenal player.
Was it Wilshire? Did he?
Jackie Wilshere.
Oh, well, that's
Signed
for
permanently
with
to West Ham.
West Ham. Okay.
Yeah, stays in London. I like the move. I think it's a good move for him.
Good for Jack.
Good for old Jackie there.
I would like to see him go back to Bournemouth.
Old Jackie by like 26 years old or something.
Boom. So here we are, our beer brackets. Well, I guess I'll just start off since we kind of have these in alphabetical order as it is. So for me, in my first round of this quarterfinal, I have got the Zimnia. Oh, by the way, if you go to the brewtifulgame.com, we got a World Cup page dedicated to both our brackets for the World Cup and our brackets for the beer. These updates will be up there soon. But so I've got my Zimnia Melancholia, which means winter melancholy Baltic Russian porter against this is tough. Boat Rocker Ramjet Whiskey Barrel Aged Imperial Stout from Australia.
Powerhouse.
Man, you know what? The winner beats you down. It's It's too bright and summery in Australia, and I can't handle it. And I'm going to say that the Russian Melancholy Baltic Porter beats out Ramjet Boat Rocket. Or Boat Rocker Ramjet, whatever. So, boom, there you go. Then I've got the Booth Throat Punch Imperial IPA from South Korea versus the West Veletran 12. This isn't even fair. Quadruple from Belgium. I love Booth Throat Punch.
Who doesn't?
But, man, West Veletran 12 is like one of the best beers in the world. It's tough. It's really tough. It's the only Belgian quad kind of beer we've got. I'm going to go with the West Veletran. Boom. Then on the other side of my bracket, I have got the Naparbier Potemkin Imperial Stout from Spain against the McKellar Beer Geek Vanilla Shake Bourbon Edition Imperial Stout from Denmark. It's McKellar Beer Geek Vanilla Shake all the way, gentlemen. Boom.
Look at you.
Then, here it comes, y'all.
On another powerhouse matchup.
The BFM Degustator Legende Sour Red Brown from Switzerland against the Zlapa Bubba Extreme Jack Daniels BA Quadruple from Poland.
Hey, y'all, watch this.
Degustator or the Bubba Extreme? Y'all, the Bubba Extreme wins the day.
Oh, you ain't going down the creek get you some degustator?
I ain't going to get the degustator from Switzerland. This quadruple is eyeballing the West Veletran quadruple across the way. That's what's happening. Boom. There you go.
Okay.
All right, so then I had Winter Melancholy from Russia and the Borg Surtur from Iceland.
Yes, darling.
So I'm going to go with Winter Melancholy.
Man, the home
As you do.
brew.
Then that leaves me with the Eyinger the Celebrator Doppelbock from Germany or West Veletran.
Ooh.
That's no choice. West Veletran all the way. There can be no choice. West Veletran is probably going to finish it for me. The Davok American IPA from Uruguay and Boat Rocker Ramjet.
I thought he was about to say Boca Raton. I went, wait, what?
What? You really do have this beer bracket thing all wrong.
I do. So Boat Rocker.
As you do.
Yep, that takes that. And then Booth Throat Punch versus Chimney's Good King Henry.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And
I forgot about good King Henry's.
Yeah. Chips on a plane.
And I think it's going to be good old King Henry that takes that one.
Old Chimney's Good King Henry Special Reserve.
Yes, Mom.
Yeah. They serve that at Mrs. Megan's Pie Shop.
Yep.
Yes, they do.
So that means I will have Winter Melancholia versus West Veletran. And then the Boat Rocker Ramjet Whiskey Barrel Aged Imperial Stout versus Good King Henry Special Reserve.
Chimneys.
That's mine.
All right. Okay, so my first matchup here, Winter Melancholy versus Boat Rocker Ramjet playing here on a Friday night. I'm going to go with the...
Billy's on a banjo. It's Barack Ramjet playing on a Friday night with her number one hit, Pot of Neck Bone.
We're just sitting here picking and grinning.
I'm a picking and I'm a grinning. Boom, ding, 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 ding.
We haven't even gotten to the Goosetator and the Bubble Extreme yet. Okay. I'm going to go with the Boat Rocker Ramjet in the upset against the Winter Melancholy. Because I personally would like to have a whiskey barrel-aged Imperial Stout more than I would a Baltic Porter. So Boat Rocker advances. And then I have the Cabinet 02 the Caramel Stout from Serbia.
The Caramel Stout from Serbia. That's safer.
Yep. Against Chimney's Good King Henry Special Reserve Imperial Stout.
I love that it's always Oliver that's reading this out.
Could I have some more,
Can I have
please?
some more?
And it's no questions on this
it's
one.
Christmas Day.
May I have another? I'm going to have the Chimney's Good King Henry Special Reserve. Going up against the Boat Rocker Ramjet in the next match.
You mean the one as big as me?
The one as big as me. Yes, boy. Remarkable boy.
Let's be thankful, Dad.
And we just got to work some Charles Dickens in there. We both got Christmas Carol and Oliver Twist in that.
Okay. Then I have
worst of beers. It was the best of beers.
That was
the Boat Rocker Ramjet.
the Freaky Tiki.
Yeah,
whatever we just had.
Yeah.
Coming in at a whopping 4%. Yeah. Okay. I don't even know what the hell the Premium Peroni Pale Lager from Egypt.
That's easy for you to say.
Hell yeah. Going up against the, Hugentes Perdidos Baltic Porter Cognac Barrel Aged from Argentina.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That was they're definitely one of those lists that we've got to try to hunt down.
Yeah.
That's one of them.
I hear they brew that with messy tears.
Oh.
A little salty.
Well, I'm going to go with the messy tears on this one. Definitely the Baltic Porter Cognac Barrel Aged.
Yeah, I want to try that.
Yeah.
I also want to try that caramel stout from Serbia.
Okay, then we have quarterfinal powerhouse matchup. The Degustator against Bubba Extreme.
Amazing.
Sunday.
It sounds like a WWE match.
Oh yeah, it does. Degustator against Bubba Extreme.
Yeah.
The Hacksaw Boys had a feud.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Let's get ready to rumble. That's all I got. Okay.
Who's your pick?
It's the Extreme.
Bubba Extreme.
Wow.
Going through over the Degustator.
I can't wait to find out how to actually say some of these.
It came down to the sour Degustator. While I want to try it, it's a quadruple from Poland. These people know beer, but it's a Bubba Extreme. It's the Jack Daniels, Bubba Extreme.
But they just went straight south on us in Poland.
I love it.
I love it too.
That beer I definitely want to try as well.
Oh, I have some matchups here. Got a Boat Rocker Ramjet in there. Got a Bubba Extreme, a Chimney, a Cognac Barrel Aged.
I want that.
Porter.
Yeah, that all sounds good. So we were going to swing over to just a little bit of MLS news for local stuff because Orlando City, we got a new coach, James O'Connor, who is our third coach. Well, no, period. Not just since MLS. I mean, really, it's our third coach since USL. And that's important because he was also here during the USL days as a player when we won the championship with Dom Dwyer playing together.
2013, that was the championship.
Yep. So there you go. So James O'Connor, you got a little bit of bio history on him. 99 to 2012, played for Stoke City, West Brom, Burnley, and Sheffield Wednesday.
No, we're recording this on a Monday.
That was a terrible soccer dad joke.
Yeah, it was.
But, well, hey, you know what? If you can tell him, he can tell him.
It's true. O'Connor played in the midfield for and was also player coach, as we said, with Orlando City between 2012 and 2014, winning a USL Pro Championship in 2013. In 2015, he became the first ever head coach for Louisville City, who was USL affiliate of Orlando City at the time. That's basically where our franchise went to. Our USL franchise went to Louisville. And I have some friends actually that have season tickets and go to all those matches. So they finished up with Louisville City as a runner-up in 2015, 2016, 2017, and winning USL Cup Championship in 2017. He's had a really good run there. And Louisville's done really good with that the local support of that club in general. But their colors are even purple as they inherited our.
Yeah, and we weren't affiliated with them this year or the years past because we had OCB.
Yeah, which
is now no longer in existence, so we don't really have an affiliate at the time. But
it seems that there a little confusion because he was listed as a top choice, like a top target. Well,
that's essentially what the GM said.
Yeah, he said James is our top target going into the coaching search. He's proven himself a consistent winner, both a player and a coach, USL level, and now is extremely eager to prove himself in MLS. James is very aware of the winning culture we have built in Orlando and that it will take what it'll take to uphold the tradition in both the short and long term. We couldn't be more excited for him to get started.
Winning culture?
I don't know about that.
Winning when he was here back in the day, yes.
Then we took 3 years off.
Not since the big leagues we haven't.
Well, no, but so when James was here is what I mean. We saw this, and I think we said top target. And we all thought, is that line. Does that mean top target? But a little bit of digging from different sports writers, and it kind of came to pass that it turns out it was true. He was a top target, as well as Caleb Porter and a third person whose name is eluding me right now. But James O'Connor was the top choice, and I think part of the reason they ended up getting rid of Christ, or when they did, I guess James was a top choice for after this season because they're doing well in the Open Cup right now. Louisville is.
Right.
He didn't really want to leave, but other MLS clubs were approaching James. So it seems like Orlando front office felt like they had to go ahead and jump if they wanted to get him, lest he goes to the Timbers or somebody else. So that seems to be what kind of pushed Christ out at the moment that it did. I mean, I can't say whether you agree with this decision or not. Professional sports in America, 6-game losing streak, not looking like they're going to do much better, because I can't think if Christ had been here, we would have won the last 2 games either. You're not surprised this happens in American sports and sports in general, but it seems like that was the impetus for moving it forward, was that James was being courted by other player or other teams. He turned it down in the beginning because he wanted to stay at Louisville to finish out the season. I think they sweetened the deal. Well, apparently Caleb Porter was made an offer, but he turned it down. But it seems like Orlando was kind of...
makes you wonder why.
Well, it seems like the offer was a little lackluster. It seems like Orlando was like, we really
why
want...
did Caleb Porter turn it down?
We really want... That's what I'm saying. I'm giving you the answer. Is that the offer was low because Orlando really wanted James. So if Caleb said yes at this low price point, it's a deal and they get him. He said no. They went back to James, sweetened the deal, and got him to leave Louisville now. So that's...
I don't know if it comes down to that so much as look at the team. And look at how the teams run.
Money talks.
Right, but
I disagree with that completely. Money talks.
But look at how the team has been run, and it's been run on the player personnel side of things. Look at what the statement from Alex is when he comes out.
Right.
The way we are approaching this is we have the profile that we want. It's very important, and we've been telling all candidates that this is not a rebuild process. This is a group of players that we believe they are very, very strong. They have to come here understanding these are players they are going to coach.
So it's play with our marbles or go home.
Exactly. Exactly it. And you bring in a guy, and James O'Connor, we went back and forth. It's not so much that he was the hire. It's why did you let Christ then build this team? Or did Christ actually even build this team from what this statement says? And then fire him. And then bring in a guy and basically said, you're now going to play with our chips.
I don't know that Christ was the guy signing these players.
So based off this,
they certainly made it seem that way.
Right. Yeah. And then you come out and basically say you're going to play with our chips. So basically you can't do anything that you want to do, or what you did in Louisville you really can't do. You're going to play with what's in place.
I think you might be inferring more than what's actually said. Because you could also read his statement as in, hey, we aren't bringing you in now to limp through the season to rebuild for next year. We think we have good players at the moment. We expect you to start producing with them. That you could also read it that, because it's not. You could read that.
He needs to back out of this. He needs to finance it. And end of story. He's not a player personnel. He cannot build a franchise. Neither is the GM, in my opinion. You got to bring in somebody that knows what the hell they're doing. You pay for somebody to come in and build a team. Build players. Have the wherewithal to realize here's what we're going to have for years to come. And you do that by putting players in place that can do that. Not a Sasha Kleiston who's 34 and on the back end of his career. You bring in younger talent, which we kind of started to do. And I feel like that was Jason Christ to a degree. And then he got pushed on by the owners saying, you're going to take Justin Merrim and you're going to take Sasha Kleiston because they're big names in this league. Not letting a Tato, for instance, come in and build a younger culture that he wanted to. I think that comes down to the
you're reading
ownership.
a lot into that. How do you know that Christ wanted a younger? I don't, because under Christ you get Kleshton and Miriam. So I mean, if make up your mind, which
Alex
is it?
wanted that.
No,
I mean,
but
somebody
I'm saying
was.
make up your mind. Which is it? Is Christ making the team or are they? Because you just said both.
Well, that's what I don't know. I can't tell from this now.
So that's why they fired him.
But
what if that is Christ's team? What if it's Kleshton and Miriam and those guys who he
then
wanted?
he's now backing what Christ just did? I don't understand. I don't understand why we have
I think Justin Miriam was a smart choice that has turned out to not
No,
be
I
great.
don't, because it's not Christ's style. Justin Miriam does not play in a diamond style, which is what Christ is known for. Period. He was a big name that had a hot season last year, and he was brought in to help spark it. But he does not play into that system at all. So when Christ gets him, he's kind of forced to put him out on the field because that's what everybody wants to see. But he just doesn't play in a diamond. It's not his style at all.
Does he have a team? Did he have a team that was built to play in the diamond?
I believe that he did. I believe that he had built it.
They weren't playing well.
Oh, they weren't playing well the first 7 games of the year. All of a sudden, that doesn't count.
So
there were talks that we're third in the East, and we're gonna. I mean, and then you lose your tip of the diamond and Dom Dwyer for the 6 games that you lost, and your number 1 center back for 6 games that you lost.
We said this in this show that the first 7 weeks of the MLS don't mean anything because
100% agreed.
Like there are too many. Portland lost actually, they're a great example. They were terrible to start off with, and now they're killing it with a former USL.
Well, what I'm
coach.
saying is he built a team that he wanted to, or at least it seemed that way. They did well in the beginning of the year, and then they got hampered by some big injuries and call-ups. I don't think you put that down onto Jason Christ. And then he got fired way too soon, and the ownership really, I don't think, knew what they wanted. This was messy.
You think we would have won the last 2 games with him?
I don't know the answer to that.
Because on an 8-game winning streak, you can't keep that.
But you don't hire in James O'Connor and say your first game's going to be against LAFC, who have been off to a hot start this year on national television, and expect for him to get a result out of that game.
No.
That's not the time that you bring him in for.
But you can say he's a new coach.
But that comes down to the ownership. They can control when his first game would be.
But if you have Christ in and you lose 4-1, you're like, well, see, this is what you guys get because you aren't making any changes. That's what I'm saying. Like, you are putting the ownership in a position that is untenable.
No, the ownership are putting themselves in a position that's untenable.
What point is it the coach's fault? You lose.
What point is it the players on the field?
Hey, man, if you can't get the team together, I mean, you have some good players out there, but you just said it. He wants to play the diamond. What if you don't have the team to do that? Can he change? Can he not play that way?
He did in the first 7 games. He did great.
Yeah, but again, that. What does that mean? Portland was terrible in the first 7 games.
When your team is healthy, but
they weren't. We didn't have Dwyer.
We had Dwyer in the games that we won. We didn't have him in the 6-game skid, or our number 1 center back in the 6-game skid.
I think the front office is in a complete shambles. Is really what I think is going on.
I agree.
I think that they can't figure out what it is they're trying to do. Aside, obviously, they all have the same goal, and that's they want to produce a winning team. I think there is a lot of varying opinions about how they want to do it, and I don't think they have the infrastructure building blocks to actually make this all happen. And I agree with Ferris that Alex, to a certain extent, has to finance and back away a little and hire people in who have a real understanding of how this all works, because he's starting to prove, or at least to me, he's starting to prove that he wasn't the brains behind the operation like Phil Rollins, right? Phil Rollins had a very clear understanding of what the team was doing, where they were going, had clearly defined goals that weren't just, we're going to win. And I don't see that anymore. I don't see that from the team at all. There's no sort of front office confidence that we used to have. So I think the front office is really what is causing this whole trickle down thing. And I think they need to get their act together and figure it the hell out. Because it's obviously affecting play, as well as we have injuries and call-ups. And the crappy thing is in this play with our marbles or go home kind of style, you're hiring talent and then immediately boxing that talent in to, this is what you have. You either win or we're going to can you, just like we've done with anybody else. In the short term, maybe the long term, just depends on how long you're winning for us. Because really, that's the barometer for how long you keep anyone. If they're winning, you keep them. If they're not, they're gone. And I get that that's professional sports. But as a coach coming in, I mean, yeah, it's the top flight, but he turned it down the first time. And you can say that it was about the offer, and I'm sure in part that that's accurate. But I'm also sure in part that it's, do I want to work for this mess of a front office? So I think it's easy to just put it on the players or the coach. But when does the front office actually take some responsibility for the choices they've made and how they have essentially trained managers and coaches to look at the team as a whole? I think that's probably your biggest problem.
And Alex essentially needs to do what DB Sweeney said. Hire the best people and trust what you hire them to do. I don't think he's done that. And I think that is partly why we are in the hole that we're in. I think James O'Connor will be a good coach for us, but I don't think he's going to have the opportunities afforded to him that are fair and just. And that quote that Alex said, I think starts it off on a bad foot. You're gonna deal with what we got here.
Again, though, you're reading into that. You could read that. You could read that either way, which is that this year isn't to limp through and rebuild for next year. We feel this is a good team that you can compete with now. That could easily be just what that is.
So then why don't they say that?
Well, they did.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, they say you're going to win with our
we
team.
have the profile that we want. It's very important, and we've been telling all the candidates it's not a rebuild process.
Well, it also sounds like he doesn't want to spend any more cash. You're going to deal with what we got. I mean, that's to me how it reads.
Yeah, you're always going to sign. You're always going to get rid of and sign a couple players. That's going to happen, but they're not going to do a ton of.
Why is he coming out and saying this? Let the damn I mean, in the way the GM talked of our top target and a winning culture, maybe you don't want to let him talk, but. I mean,
well, you might have just answered your own question right there.
So then why even hire him? Why put him? You're not hiring the best people at that point. And I mean, it just, the front office is a mess right now. The only thing they know how to do is, and this is going to sound, the only thing they know how to do is the pride. And this is going to sound really bad, but it's not too hard. You bring in U.S. international players and the GOAT of all time in Marta.
And Tom Samarny doesn't. Hurt.
Correct. I mean, there's a smaller playing field. This is
still the MLS,
so it's not too hard to get. But this is not. I don't. What we've done in the past 3 years and the turnover of coaches and the incomplete, almost personnel change. If we remember going to our when we were looking at the season before, we almost changed out the entire team. They're trying to figure it out, and the constant in all of this in the 3 years.
Yeah, but
the ownership.
You were going to keep Heath?
No, but I think you were smart and you brought in Jason Kreis. Let him at least have a chance. Let him do what he was brought in to do.
His players now are on an 8-game losing streak.
Well, and apparently that's what Alex wants to keep going forward with, because that's what he says in this quote.
But if that's his team,
well, it's a double-edged sword, because if it's not Alex's team, then he says, "Okay, let's get through the end of the year, and then we'll let James retool and get who he wants and play what he wants, and then let's move on from there." I'd be almost fine if he came out and said that. Hey, we're going to bring this guy in to get us through this year, and then he is in charge of the team after this, and we will back him and give them the support that he needs.
If he's successful, that's what they'll do.
Will they?
If he's successful.
And then if he doesn't, and then if he gets 2 injuries or 3 injuries and some call-ups and doesn't do well, is he going to be fired like Jason Kreis?
Any coach would be.
No.
Yes. When Atlanta has an 8-game losing streak, their coach is gone, man. If Atlanta doesn't get into playoffs for 3 years in a row and they have an 8-game losing streak on their third year, they're going to can him.
I think that's accurate. That's 100% accurate if all your players are healthy and not firing. I think you're 100% right. But we've had so many injuries, so many call-ups, and our front office can't figure it the hell out. So the easiest thing that they can do is blame Kreis, which... yeah, he deserves a bit of the blame for not being able to gather up a team.
You can't take the guys you have left and figure out how not to lose by 3 goals or more every game.
Well, I mean, like, when you build a defensive team around one player, that's what you get.
Well, but I think,
but you keep putting it at the feet of Jason Kreis. I'm spreading it out. I'm at least being realistic. I don't think you are.
Well, no, but the CEO isn't leaving. He owns the thing. The coach is... he's going to be the thing that goes.
Right, but you have your GM, you have all this other, you still have all of these other positions in the front office that directly affect player acquisition and how the team functions and all these other spots. But
well, to use Atlanta's example, the Titos aren't coming to MLS. Yes, you have some retiring superstars from overseas playing, but the thing that MLS still doesn't have is getting better coaches. A good opportunity will be the guy who's at Portland who came out of the USL. If James can do something coming out of the lower league, because that is a area that America needs to cultivate, because we're not getting...
What do you mean we don't have coaches? We just had 3 in the last month that have left to go on to bigger and better things.
Well, there you go. I mean, like...
No, but you brought in coaches that are good. We can't hang on to them, if anything. But we're bringing them in, and they're doing very good. Look at Ziggy Smith. Look at Patrick Vieira.
They're gone.
But they were good here, and that's what they were brought in, and they were good coaches that were brought in and helped build this league.
Who did Patrick Vieira replace?
He was their first coach. He didn't replace anybody. I thought he was their first, right? He was NYC's first coach.
I don't know.
And only coach, I thought.
Was he?
I don't know. Now that you mentioned him, I thought he was. We said Jesse Marsh on the other side of New York go to RB Leipzig in Germany. So we can bring in big coaches.
That's why I asked the question.
What was it?
Jason Kreis is who Patrick Vieira replaced.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Because NYC ditched him too.
They still play on a damn baseball field.
They do, but I'm just saying, like, a team that's doing very well in NYC FC right now got rid of him.
Well, they also have the Sheikh who finances them.
Sure, and that helps.
And you know what the Sheikh does? He pays and he backs the out of it.
But that's also why we just got someone from USL that we're bringing up. That's why.
I just am. I think a lot of people are being short-sighted and not recognizing that the entire team is in trouble, not just we have a bad coach or we have a couple of bad players, or that it starts from the front office and trickles all the way down. No one seems to be shouting that the front office needs to get their together, because it's easier to blame one person, send him off, and then be able to bitch about the new guy when he comes in. But no one's really looking up the mountain going, where's all the coming from?
And I think some fans...
I disagree with that entirely.
That's
all that's on Twitter.
Because the crap that was coming in on Twitter after the Atlanta games a few weeks back were brilliant. Hey, Papa John's, we can't win. If we use Atlanta wins, can we get 50% off? When do we start playing at Disney again?
I mean, the Kreis out stuff started early.
Is this what a winning tradition looks like?
But it was the Kreis out.
I imagine season ticket renewals are coming soon.
But that was all before his first match.
That was before his first match, right? Which makes you say it's ownership. Is the relegation in the MLS?
They've been trashing the front office. They've been trashing Kreis. They've trashed the front office for not getting rid of Kreis sooner, for not doing it last year. I mean, Kreis did not have a lot of fans after the end of last year.
I mean, they also, again, I don't think you set him up for success here. Why don't you at least wait and start his first game at home this Saturday? Why do it away on the West Coast in a nationally televised game against a new team to the area.
You don't want to give him a couple weeks with the club before he gets here?
You can give him a couple weeks, but it doesn't mean he needs to coach in this game.
Probably because the God, what is the interim coach's name?
Yeah,
Bobby Murphy.
Yeah, if he basically said, "You get a coach, and I'm gone," or "I'm gone."
Yeah,
Which makes you wonder what the hell is going on here?
He
Where these
didn't-
people are
he
jumping ship
never-
and trying to get out of here.
but no, he made it clear he never wanted the position. Like, he never wanted the position.
Why wouldn't you want an MLS head coaching job?
Because you don't like the front office.
There's something
well,
there.
well, no,
yeah.
but like if you like another position within the organization, it's what you want to do. You don't have the desire to.
If you're in coaching, your ideal thing is to be a head coach of somewhere, and a head coach in a professional sports league seems pretty damn good to me.
So where is he at now?
No, it's because he wants to get out of here.
No, you don't know the answer. Where's he at now?
I don't know the answer. You're right,
Well,
but he's not. He's not the head coach of Orlando City anymore.
No, we don't want him to be either.
Well, I don't think he wants to be. That's why he's out of here.
Yeah, he turned it down before they could even offer it to him.
It's not good.
According to the reports in the Orlando Sentinel, they called him into the office to talk about whether or not he wanted the coaching position. And he walked in, turned it flatly down, and then walked out.
There's something there.
So
It's not right.
that reeks to me that the front office is a circus.
It's a dumpster fire.
I just don't know how you lay that coaching. Like, if that were the case, then Heath and Christ be better coaches than they are. They're not.
No, but how I'm taking it is that this is all a ball of wax that's been building over time. And so it's not that the ownership and the front office has been a mess the entire time. It's that they've become a mess. And through having Heath, through having Christ, this is all built up to become what it is now. It's not like everybody was just terrible or amazing from the beginning and have continued that way. Everything has just gotten more and more dysfunctional and more reactionary, much more reactionary. This is happening, so we must do this. This is happening. Instead of maybe just, at least this is the way it seems. And I could be totally wrong. Maybe I don't know the whole story, but you know what? The team isn't coming out saying anything either. So they just need to figure it the hell out.
And it's not that Alex or whoever's in the back office are bad ownership or make bad decisions. No, because what they've done for this area in general and how they cultivated the game of soccer around this team to be the premier sports team in this town is phenomenal. It is great. How they built a stadium, how they built it through downtown, how they financed it on their own, how they've brought butts into the seats there is phenomenal. But when it comes to player personnel and decisions on the pitch, there's something wrong there. There's something wrong there. And they have their hands in too deep, and it's affecting it because they're the only ones that are constant throughout this 3 years here. So at some point, you got to stop looking after coach after coach after coach and look at them.
So take Atlanta out of the conversation because they're too new. So what about the rest of the MLS then?
In terms of what?
So, like, how is Orlando any better or worse than the rest of the MLS?
Look at what Caleb Porter's done. Look at what...
Well, but Caleb Porter won a championship and then deuced out with no prospects.
Well,
why did he leave?
The front office also sold Darlington Agby underneath of his... I mean... I don't understand...
I mean, you're seeing this because it's in your backyard. I'm just saying, like...
I don't understand it because there is something else there. Something that doesn't smell right when it comes to the decisions made on the field. And the only thing that's constant throughout that, like I've said, has been the back office.
It's not the constant because we lost our GM early on. We had the GM that we started with. Did he go to Atlanta?
I don't think we had a... Did we have a GM?
So we lost someone.
We lost Phil Rollins.
Early on.
Yeah, we did. Blake's right. We lost someone. I don't think they were a GM.
They weren't.
And the GM was vacant for a bit, and then they hired this guy. Nick somebody.
It's so convoluted. It's so messy.
What I'm saying is, like, you know this in the backyard, and I'm just not sure that this isn't an MLS situation. I mean, Lord knows what's going on with Columbus.
Look at what Seattle's built, Portland's built, Galaxy have built. the Red Bulls, NYCFC, I mean, Atlanta, listen off a handful of names.
Red Bulls
here.
have a tough time filling a stadium, though.
Well,
I mean, I'm just saying, like,
it's also New York. There's a million other things they could be
right.
freaking
I'm just
doing
saying, like,
in New York.
there's a lot of stuff I think you see because it's in the backyard. But I am positing a situation where, again, it's where I say great coaches are not knocking the doors down to come over here.
You're right. They're turning it down in Caleb Porter's case.
Well, but exactly.
So why? Why
I don't
would
know.
you? Why? And
I guarantee you, like, whenever Atlanta's done with Tito, he's not going anywhere else in the MLS. He'll go somewhere else, but like, he's not going to be.
probably.
He's probably just going to
I
retire.
don't know.
out.
There's
Yeah,
just
sure.
something. I think what Ron and I are saying. There's just something here that doesn't smell right. And how many coaches are we going to go through to figure out? Okay, maybe it's not them.
Well, you
It's
might
not
need,
necessarily the. It's the players to an extent, but we changed over an entire team
really,
this year.
really, that's your GM then.
GM and ownership. I mean, if you're saying the GM, we've had two now in the past 3 years. Who's the one constant in that?
Well, that other guy, I got it. It's on the tip of my tongue. I forget why. If it was the GM, they left. There was a weird situation, and I can't remember if it was when the Phil Rollins stepped, or it was with Heath.
I'm looking it up.
Yeah, but that situation has extra
but again, it's
something on
just
it.
reeks of something's wrong here. Something's not right. And it's not because they're bad owners. It's because their hands just too much in the player personnel decision making when it comes to on the field. Because what they've done off the field has been fantastic. Something smells fishy.
Something does not smell right in Denmark.
I just don't think you keep Christ fishy or not. I can't imagine that he wouldn't have lost his last two matches either. Then you're in an 8-game losing streak. I don't know.
I will say that teams have kept NFL coaches through far worse, through much fewer games, by the way. NFL only plays, 16, 17 games? The Bills have had the same coach for 2-3 years before they fire him, and they can't break 500. So it's not all sports.
No, but what do you have the fans screaming to get rid of that guy? Make a change, do something.
I'm sorry. I realized he was looking it up too, and I didn't want to just have dead air. So.
No!
what just
I
happened?
was looking at I was looking at something else. I was looking at.
But if what you were saying, Blake, is that the fact that the MLS can't hold coaches,
that's what worries me.
then that's something that the MLS needs to really take a hard look at, because let's say you're half right. I'll meet you halfway. You're half right. That's still a problem.
Because you're Patrick Vieira's, right? That's who you would want. I mean, he made his name. Yes, he had a name in Europe, but like he made a stake here, doing very well. And then he goes over to Nice. No, where did he go?
Yeah, Nice.
And any coach would, right? It's a step up to a European club in Europe. It makes sense, but the inability to get some good coaches that can improve or make what a team has better. Or we just talked about it in the World Cup, right? I mean, the ability for Iceland's coach to look at what they've got and say, here's the way we can play to do the best we can and be better than the sum of our parts. That kind of coaching is not prevalent to me in the MLS.
I think that's a fair assessment.
That worries me. I mean, Christ, for example, not to beat up on the guy, it's not about that, but he's bounced. NYCFC gives him all the money in the world
That's his
to
only
open up
time
with.
he's done that, though.
No, but I'm just saying,
at Real Salt Lake. He
but I would argue
spent 6 years there
in a different era of the MLS. That Real Salt Lake MLS club of 6 years ago is so different, or the years that he spent there. MLS is changing. It is attracting players. Places like Atlanta have managed to get young South American players that are very promising to come up. You would hope in the short term, America would become a place where those kind of players come here, and maybe they do go to Europe post their MLS and they're only here for a few years or whatever, but that would be better than what we had. It's not happening with the coaches, but the coach for Portland came from the USL, or no, NASL. He was a Cosmos coach, right? The coach for Portland now.
Oh, I don't know.
Because he was very excited that James O'Connor, he was going nuts online, got the offer and accepted because he came from the NASL. He's doing really well in Portland
So
now.
is Heath.
So he's, no, Heath is not, yeah, but you know what? I would argue Heath's doing no better or worse. He might have a worse record, but he's playing exactly the same way. I either have to score way more than you do because I don't defend. That has not ever changed.
Was Minnesota United, were they a USL team before they came in?
No.
They were brand new?
I think they had a minor league. It's like the way that there was a minor league in Atlanta, but that team didn't become Atlanta United.
If it's, I don't know, there's something there where you come up from the lower leagues. Look at NYCFC. That wasn't. Look at Atlanta. Both have made the playoffs. Is there something there? Maybe.
Well, they started with a bit because they
right.
They
that's what I'm saying.
knew they had to kick the doors down. Maybe not as much NYC because you're in New York, but you have to kick the doors down. Big names, whatever, because you're trying to create a culture. Orlando had one. Minnesota, but again, Atlanta did have some minor league. Hockey, minor league soccer clubs, Silverbacks and stuff that were followed, and a soccer culture that was there. So it's just I don't know. It's just there's a troubling thing to me in the MLS of I don't look across and see a ton of coaches that we're all talking about.
Right. At some point, the well's going to run dry.
Yeah, and that's what worries me.
So real quick, just so you know, the executive front office, as we've been talking about, the GM is Nikki Budalik. I can't pronounce his last name. The CEO is Alex Lado.
Yes.
Right. So they can fire Alex Lado.
Oh, yeah, because he is the CEO.
Because he's just the CEO.
He would still be the owner or the majority stakeholder or whatever, but he wouldn't necessarily be the CEO.
Right. So he's CEO. Yeah. Minority owner and president is still Phil Rollins.
Yes.
Then the owner is actually John Bonner. And then the majority owner and chairman is Augusto da Silva. So we always forget about him.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Mm-hmm. Who's very quiet.
So
he doesn't get in the press at
correct.
all. Yeah.
So
good for him.
Alex
da Silva
could be escorted off.
I apologize. In my brain, I kept thinking about da Silva while we were talking about Alex Lieto.
Yes,
I kept thinking of da Silva.
I've been making
both Brazilian, but yes.
Yeah, I've been doing the same. So
Alito's the face guy. Da Silva is
did we find out who that GM was?
I'm still reading.
And forgive me, Ron, I can't think if he was like a technical director or a GM, but he was the guy that was here under Heath and he left. And,
I know who you're talking about.
And I remember when it happened, there was a little bit of rumbling then of I hope everything's okay in the front office because it feels like that's an odd way. And I want to say he went to Atlanta or I can't remember.
It's still, oh yes.
Because
we would go to Atlanta.
We would have existed. Yeah. Atlanta came later. It was a club like that.
Yeah. There's just something there that just doesn't feel right, and it's the front office that's kind of been the most consistent thing, despite the GM. But it seems like the GM's not really doing.
But despite all your doom and gloom, I actually think this James O'Connor thing is very exciting. He managed to take what he had with Louisville and do very well with it. Moved people around. Brought people off the bench that hadn't been starting because he thought they fit better with who they were playing next to. So,
Paul McDonough? Was that him?
Yeah, where did he go afterwards? Does it say where he went afterwards?
He's in Atlanta right now.
Yeah, that's exactly him. What you're talking about. Yeah.
So he's the VP and director of soccer operations.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder. I don't know.
Their structure is slightly different. They have one owner, Arthur Blank. Then the president is Darren Ellis. CFO, Rob Jeffrey. VP, who's a technical director, Carlos Bocanegra, who we all know.
Mm-hmm. And to be fair, we kicked the door down too. I mean, we had Kaká. You say what you want to about Laren now, but at the time, number one rookie draft pick, we certainly did the same thing and kicked the door down. Now I don't want a pod to run 5 hours long.
Oh geez.
I guess what I'm trying to say, or I guess what what I'm tiptoeing around, not because I don't want to say it, but I'm not quite sure. I'm scared I'll say something that's too broad, and it shouldn't be that way. What you guys are saying, and are like, oh, we'll be chances of this and so, and we let the guy have longer, or what's going on with the front office. And I'm just like, dude, freaking MLS sucks right now. Like, yes, we are taking leaps, and yes, it's a generalization. There are clubs, there are organizations, there are people taking leaps and bounds forward. We're one of them, based off like what Ferris just said about locally, what the club has done locally. But man, not just with this Christ situation in the front office or whatever here in Orlando, MLS, especially with all these people watching the World Cup and everything else, God, they've got to push forward. And you need to do it now. You don't need to wait till a buzz in 4 years for the next Men's World Cup or anything else. You do it now. You got to increase the pay, the median pay for median level players, so that these stars have someone to actually play with. Like I see what you guys are saying, but I'm also like, what does it freaking matter? Because it's like it can just be, MLS could easily, any club, forget Orlando, you could just be a revolving door of mediocrity if you don't have a ton of money to pull in just the right coach or whatever to be a Seattle or to be in Atlanta or whatever. It's so easy to be in the revolving door of mediocrity in MLS because of the disparity in pay between whatever, I don't know what coaches are paid, but that median level player, God, it has got to be increased. We loved Adrian Venter from a couple years ago. Your whole team, your worst players are Adrian Venters if your median level pay is higher. And then that's who your Kakas or your Zlatans who can come in retiring, quote unquote, but have a great finish because they've got good people to play opposite of. And I guess that's where my frustration is. I'm like, keep them or don't. James O'Connor excites me a little bit in the sense that he is a guy working his way up. There's a hunger there. He wants more. That's awesome. Jason Christ, does he ever have the possibility to coach anywhere above MLS? I don't know. James O'Connor, European connections. Maybe he looks at the MLS's ability like Patrick Vieira. Maybe there's nothing wrong with that. Just like I said, if we become a place where really good players on the rise come before they go to Europe, that would still elevate the entirety of the MLS play. And if that's people looked at it coaching wise, it's hard. It must be hard if you're clubs in Europe looking for coaches across the world that you need, your nieces or whatever. Your maybe not necessarily Premier Leagues but your smaller, well-paying clubs. You look at America and go, these guys know how to play with like 2 superstars and a bunch of scrubs. And that sounds offensive. And that's what I say, but I don't mean to make a blanket statement as if that's truly the way. But that median level pay is so low worldwide. We just need to make up the gap. The MLS needs to make up the gap so that America continues to stay excited about really good soccer in between World Cups. Because you're already seeing the people online going, oh, God, MLS or World Cup's about to end and we got to start watching MLS. And it's so depressing to see people say, that worries me.
We're still a young league.
We are, but the easier it is. But you know what sucks for MLS now? It's so easy. We do a Premier League podcast here. It's so easy to watch soccer from all over the world now. You're gonna have to start convincing people, and we know because we go to the games and they're a blast and they're fun. But to get the person who's never come, if you just have them watching a little MLS on TV, I don't know, they rush out and get a season ticket. If they go, man, I had a really fun time following the World Cup. I live wherever. I'm gonna start following my local team. I'm watching them on TV. I'm not going to get season tickets.
So real quick, as of 2017, superstar salaries are a source of contention in the MLS. This is out of Forbes, on the Forbes.com website.
With the Forbes, not even a sports site.
Nope. Forbes. Business. All the business. Superstar salaries are a source of contention throughout the MLS, where the average club is worth $185 million and where the median guaranteed compensation for an average player is $117,000, while 40 players make the bare league minimum of $51,500 a year. This year, an enormous ESPN survey of the MLS found that 84% of players think they are being paid unfairly.
There you go.
Yeah, look it up. It looks like a pretty cool article. Major League Soccer's Top Earning Players is the name of it, written by Christina Sentimi.
And I guess that's where I'm at. Like you're right. Maybe the front office is a disaster, but even if it isn't a disaster, and this is the way outside players are looking at the MLS, does it matter? You know what I mean? Like if that money isn't there to bring in those people, I mean, there's just got to be an investment in the MLS. I know it doesn't happen tomorrow, and it's already ahead of where it was, but like America will only wait so long, and the people will be like, "Oh, I love the Premier League. What about MLS? You live in Chicago. If a friend gives me a ticket, I go." And we don't want that to be the case. And it just worries me that it could become that way because it is so blissfully, I'm thankful, easy to watch soccer from all over the world now.
No, I mean you certainly have a point.
And I think that this Christ situation dregs up that fear for me in the like, keep him, don't, like, who are you going to get? Even if you wait to the end of the year, who are you going to get? Who's, I don't know. It's a weird place to be in. If the MLS was on a rise quicker, Patrick Vieira doesn't leave. He's in the Man City organization, but he decides to leave.
So the top 10 moneymakers in the MLS take home a combined guaranteed paycheck of over $59 million and another $21 million in bonuses and sponsorships to earn a collective $80 million, $80 million in just the top 10 moneymakers in the MLS.
That's to say the disparity is huge within the league.
Yeah, to find out that, what was it, 40 players are making $51,500. That's quite the difference.
Yeah.
I don't know what other leagues are doing.
Sure.
I've never really
and for anybody listening,
I've never dug into their finances.
I'm sure there's people listening on $107,000 for a year. I'd take that, but that might be your only year. You could get hurt.
You're not getting the bigger name sponsorships and people going to the stadiums, and we can talk about why that is. I mean, the league ultimately needs money to come in for it to then build those salaries higher and higher and higher. And I think,
and if you're right about it,
they've been doing that in the past several years by adding in these clubs like Atlanta and NYC and Orlando and these big market areas that are going to spend and put into it. So I think it's slowly starting to get there, and we're better than what we were 5 years ago in this league. And the Rooney's help and the Zlatan's help, and that helps bring in more cash to them so that slowly but surely these things can raise up. I just don't think we're past that threshold of we've built up so much to where now players and coaches can turn down other leagues. We're just not there yet. It's still going to take time. Is that going to happen in 5 years or 10 years? I don't know, but I think we're on the right track.
So here's an interesting paragraph in this article from Forbes.com. Kaká's take-home pay in 2016 was 40 times higher than Kyle Larin. Orlando City, his take-home pay is 40 times higher than Kyle Larin, who is Orlando City's leading goal scorer for the second year in a row, and the 2015 MLS Rookie of the Year. The Canadian set a rookie record with 17 goals in 27 games. Kaká, only netting 9 goals in that season so far, trails behind Larin by 13. Yet his pay is 62% of Orlando City's total labor bill, essentially. And that's reported by the Players Union.
Now, of course, we do know that Kaká sold a ton of jerseys and
brought a ton of stuff to the MLS. But that's still quite the...
Well, and Kyle Larin seems like there were some personality issues as it went, but that doesn't help if you're in his shoe. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like it, and I know his way out was really rough, but again, money talks, man. And if the money situation was better, maybe he's playing for another team, not necessarily us in here, but he's not in Turkey.
It really goes to the state of it. Assuming this article is 100% accurate, the fact that 84% of MLS players think they're being paid unfairly, That says a lot.
That's terrible. That's
a lot.
Go to any business that's not that people rate as like, oh, the customer service at blah 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 sucks. I guarantee you get the same kind of statistics of, well, we all think we're underappreciated and underpaid.
Well,
I mean, you just can't.
Ferris is right. We're a young league. We've got a lot to figure out. I just hope we figure it out sooner rather than later.
I know you're excited. Rooney's and still scare me that's a thing, because I think that is a symptom of a problem, and it should be better players, more better players than one better player. I mean, as you said, you couldn't name anybody off of DC United, but now you can name two.
He brings in cash, and that cash is what helps build.
And that's true. That's true.
Only in the short term.
Yes, only in the short term. And at DC United,
he's one of somebody that's been doing it for ages. I mean,
not at DC United.
No, but at around the league in general is what I'm talking about here. Look at Thierry Henry. Look at Zlatan. Look at Steven Gerrard. Look at David Beckham. All of them help boost finances for the league in general. Yes, they cost a lot, but they also brought in jersey sales, season tickets, and that type of finances that we
Frank
need.
Lampard.
Oh, you're absolutely correct. Pirlo too. You forgot he was in the league for a hot second.
Yeah, I think Pirlo had a better impact, though.
Oh yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
But he's just one of that line of players, and yes, they all were in the twilight of their career, but they've all helped the league in a large amount. As much as people can bash on David Beckham and why he came over here, what for, he helped this league out greatly. And LA Galaxy is one of the top team, or not top teams, but one of the most recognizable teams when it comes to American soccer in the world.
I guess that's what we're missing, though. David Beckham did not feel like he came here out of a retirement league. He had an excitement about trying to lift the sport up in America.
He did, though. He was in his 30s, just like Wayne Rooney
I'm not saying time, but it wasn't treated as, well, I guess I'll do this now. David Beckham went. Look, he's trying to get a club in Miami started. He came here with an idea of, I've done everything I could do in my home country. What if I make the sport something to talk about in America?
That's what they're all doing, though.
We're missing. Rooney ain't coming here to do that. That's not his bag. Rooney's gonna try to fire up a club in 20 years, 10 years. No.
You don't know. He's not there
he would
yet.
Have drunk all his money
Why
away.
is he the one that you're picking out on this? Why not do that with Zlatan or do it with Lampard or
Rooney's
whoever?
the only one getting drunk in his kitchen boxing matches.
Which ended to a great.
I am not against Wayne Rooney coming to the MLS, but I do agree with Blake that teams will go grab a Twilight player and pay them a ton of money when they can follow examples of other teams and snag really awesome South American players that are younger, keep them in the league longer, and make better games.
But the Atlantas of the world wouldn't have been here if those that have come over and done that.
But you've just answered your own question to me. We're in a new phase now.
But
DC United.
We're not there.
Well, no, you're right, because DC United is doing old stuff.
Still,
if I'm a DC United fan, I'd be like, keep Wayne Rooney, give me 3 South Americans with that money.
No, because what do those 3 South Americans go into?
What does Rooney go into?
He can bring in. They're going to open a stadium. He's going to almost probably pay that stadium back in a short period of time from the media that he brings in, from the jersey sales that he brings in. He's going to put butts in the seat. People want to go see the games when he's in town. That's what I'm talking about. We're not out of that phase yet.
But you know what?
We are getting better, and we're getting close, and we're starting to grow. Look at Atlanta and the 3 South Americans and all of that. But we're not past that fully yet.
Can I ask a question? Just to make sure I understand everything. What former amazing world superstar player is on Atlanta right now? That silence means nobody, because they went to South America. They grabbed a whole bunch of awesome players.
An American star.
The superstar that's on Atlanta is the head coach. That's what they got. Well, so it's a different form of bringing in a superstar.
But they win, and they use their money wisely. I don't know that Wayne Rooney was using it wisely. If they were to go to South America, pick up 4 players for the amount that Wayne Rooney brings in, the money that they're going to spend on Wayne Rooney, they pick up these amazing players and bring to the MLS. You know what an American likes more than some Brit ex-soccer star or continuing soccer star? They like winners.
Yeah.
They come and they sit.
MLS DC's not set up for that right now.
But
you bring in three South
That's why
Americans.
you get rid of Rooney and you bring in 3 or 4 other.
No, you don't.
Awesome
You don't
players.
have what Atlanta has in the coach and in the facilities and the not the facilities, but the system in place to
So
bring
you
those
pick
guys in.
one player
So
and you
in
put
three
all your
South
eggs in
Americans.
one basket.
No,
That's what you're doing.
You're bringing in a player to help spark the club.
What spark? What? There's nothing to spark. You don't have any good players except Rooney.
You don't know. Well,
you don't
first
have
off,
a
the
good
man hasn't
coach.
even stepped on the pitch yet. But what he's done in terms of media and press conferences and opening up this new stadium, he's bringing cash into the team that's sitting in last place. That's what David Beckham did. That's what Thierry Henry did. That's what a lot of these guys that's come before him have done. We're not out of that yet. We still need these players to come in, the Zlatans, to come in and help bring in more
When
finances
did
to the
Thierry
league.
Henry and David Beckham join the league? Decades ago.
But that's what we're still continuing to do because we're not there yet. That's what I'm saying.
If you bring in
Atlanta's
Rooney,
the one fucking club that you can look at and go, they did it differently and it's working. Okay,
Right, so
But
they have
we're
a-
not
they have
there-
a good recipe.
But we're not there yet.
but if you bring in Rooney and you have a losing season for the next 3 years, you're not going to
you
fill
bring
those butts.
you bring him in and he gets him into the playoffs, then what's going to happen?
No. Ron's 3 hypotheticals get you into the playoffs more than one Rooney does.
You don't know that yet. First off, because the season is not done yet. If he does, you're drinking the Blue Thunder.
Sure, but Rooney's got no one to play with. You keep saying if you bring in 3 South American guys, they don't have one to play with. Rooney has no one to play with.
No, hold on. I'm not saying that it's going to make the team better or the teams are going to be good. What I'm saying is by bringing him in, still brings cash into the league in general, which can then help build those salaries. And that's where we've gone. We've continued to build. The David Beckhams and Thierry Henrys have helped to build the Atlantas because of the cash flow that they have brought in.
I just think if I
behind their
grab
name.
a dude in the middle of Virginia and I say, "Do you know who David Beckham is?" He says, "Yes." If I say, "Do you know who Wayne Rooney is?" I'm not.
I bet you hear yes.
No, dude.
Wayne Rooney is.
David
Oh my
Beckham
gosh!
is
Are you
in
kidding me?
movies. He's like,
Okay, now he is, but at the time at which David Beckham came in, you're getting the same response as Wayne Rooney. He's the leading goal scorer of all time.
There was no
for one of
movie
the biggest
called.
clubs in the
There was no
world.
movie called "Wing It Like Rooney." Wing it like Wayne.
No,
the man. I'm just saying, like Beckham had like a Jordan style superstar level. Zlatan kind of has that going on. This crazy superstar. If you know
so does Wayne
soccer,
Rooney. So does Wayne
you're
Rooney.
English,
No,
and you-
so does Wayne Rooney. He is worldwide known. Everybody knows Rooney. You are underestimating his fame in the soccer
you
world.
are overestimating Americans in soccer knowledge.
I'm not. You can walk out on the street on pretty much, and they will know who he is because he plays for Manchester United. He plays for England. He had been playing for the past 10 years. He for a long time was considered one of the top 5 players in the world.
Just remember, he's got to score over 3 goals or you're drinking a Moo Thunder.
I know that. And if he gets him into the playoffs, you're drinking the Moo Thunder.
I'm okay with that bet.
I thought it was anything. No.
It was
Don't
over
let
3
Blake get
goals.
out of that one. It's if he scores.
Oh, that's true. That's true. If he
if you heard it here.
No. If Wayne Rooney happens to score exactly 4 goals, you're still drinking the Moo Thunder.
Right. Anything more than.
Then 3, right?
Right.
And I did go back and I listened. If he scores 3, I will drink it. You're right. Okay. I went back and I yes. Okay.
Oh, man.
Not a push.
Speaking
I
of,
wouldn't be a push, but
Ron, are you going to have some fun beer trips soon?
Yes.
Back up north. I'm very excited to hear about these. There's a possibility Ron could go undercover.
what does that mean?
Butternut Brewing.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Home of Moo Thunder.
So I've arranged a trip for an undisclosed time and date.
Make it sound like it's a damn CIA movie.
It
or
is,
something.
man.
It might just be to slink my way into some Butternuts Brewing undercover with a friend of the pod and go check it out. And another friend of the pod, Amanda Scott, she when I was up north working this past week, she left me a 6-pack of another Butternuts Brewing beer, which I'm having sent down here so we can try it on the pod.
Yes, we are. I'm excited about that.
We have to.
Ooh, doggy. Pork slap. Wow.
Sounds
We got to end this, gentlemen.
Yeah, we do. This is a good one, though. It's a good one. All right. Follow us on the Brewtiful Game, at Brewtiful Game on Twitter. Follow us on Facebook. Go to our website, brewtifulgame.com. You can find all these things. Listen to us wherever you listen to podcasts.
Untapped.
But if you would leave us a review on Apple Podcast or iTunes, however you listen to it, it really helps us get more people out to the show. Let us know if you do, and we'll get out a koozie, maybe a magnet if I got some left to you. Clark, don't you worry. We're going to be getting yours out to you soon.
Sparky.
We'll let you know when it's out in the. I love that people actually call him Sparky. It makes me happy.
Instagram.
Follow us on Instagram. Yeah, as Ron said, the Untapped. I think that covers us all the places that you can find us. Also at All In Sports Talk, where we are on a radio or an internet radio feed where you can listen to a ton of different awesome soccer shows. Especially right now, with all the World Cup stuff going on, it's a great resource. And I think that covers us.
How long was this pod?
It's 5 hours. It's all fine. It's fine. It's fine. We're fine. We're all fine here.
We were doing real good up until the MLS.
Until the MLS.
Why do you, look, dude? Just World Cup. Quit adding in things.
Just leave the MLS off of it.
Yeah. Leave the MLS off
Until
of it
the
until the World
World
Cup's
Cup's
over. There's no more. We need a break. We gotta have a break.
Oh my God, that was like an extra hour just arguing about that.
We were doing pretty good. We were doing good, and then bam.
Hey, we've got passion, so
We do, man. That's right. That's what makes this fun. All right, gentlemen. Cheers. Love the beer. Cherish the game. The Brewtiful Game.
I'm gonna open up another panini pack.